one of our academic development faculty. So even though she's new faculty, she's actually seasoned faculty. There's training involved, which we can go into more detail, but Teresa also has a lot of information. How many of you went to opening day? Okay, should be all hands. I was a new faculty once at some point. You heard Matt Garrett, Dr. Garrett talk about it. He is a converted person from a disciplined person to a freshman thinking, now changed the way he teaches his entire coursework because he took part in Summer Bridge. It will change your life. Who else was in Summer Bridge? You were in Summer Bridge, right? And was there any rest of you? Oh yeah, Helen's been through. Now it's gone through some changes over the years, and we've kind of settled in on what we think is really working for students. One day, it's intensive, it's fun, it's interactive. As a matter of fact, last year we had it in here, and it was not my vision. Because you see how you're all sitting there looking at me? Yeah, that's what they did. Like, yeah, staring at me. It was horrible, but we still had great success with the students. So even in this format, students were above and beyond more successful their first term at Bakersfield College than any other orientation that we put them through. It works. We take them on tours. We put them in groups, and we have networking. We do team building. We have faculty sitting there and peer mentors that are talking to them about what is college like. It just gets them that jump start. And that my original campaign several years back was Jump Start. Okay, so it really does give them that jump start, so that when they hit campus that first week of classes, they're not lost. They know where their classes are. They don't have classes in Delano and at the Weil and online, and because when they walk into Bridge sometimes, no matter how well we are at matriculation process and signing them up for classes, they still, and I even did it with my own son. We clicked on it and he looked, he goes, "That isn't Delano, Mom," and I'm like, I blew it myself. So it's really easy to do if they get in a hurry, they sign up for classes, they're just not paying attention. That we have accelerated courses, we have hybrid courses, and we have to make sure that they're all in the right place. But most importantly, they need to have interactions with each other. They need to physically be touching and going into classrooms. We take them through the student services building, but you know who needs that as well, besides me freshmen, right? How many of you need that? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, Bill. Bill's been an adjunct with us for like 10 years. And now that he's a full-time person, it's a whole different world. So even if you're coming from the adjunct world into the full-time and you're on campus, you know, all those many more hours, this bridge will change you. Eddie, did it help you?
Yeah, absolutely it did. Especially as a new faculty member. You know, everything the students were learning, I was learning as well. I was a student on this campus and didn't realize half the stuff that I learned in that summer bridge program. So.
And all of us, even new faculty not included. So Helen, do we have a whole new portal system, and Canvas has now invaded all of our lives? I'm having to learn all kinds of new things. I have to revamp of what we're going to do. Teresa's going to be one of my leads on that because Teresa's one of my techie people, and she's the one that's doing all the training with our faculty. So I need your expertise, whatever it may be. When we have biology people in there, they take them into the biology labs. They get to look around. We went into nursing. So whatever your areas are, when you're there, you get to take them in and really, you know, showcase what you do and where your classrooms are. We take them in lecture halls. It's just a really, really great experience for new faculty, experienced faculty. Deans can join in, staff. I expect to see, you know, Chanel right in there because coordinating it and being a part of it, it's a whole different world. So I'm going to let Chanel tell you a little bit more about it, but Dr. Christian, I just left a meeting, I have to go back. She asked one favor of me. She wants me to hand around a piece of paper, and she wants to see your names on there that says, yes, somehow, some way, I want to be a part of it. So even if you were already part of Bridge once, and I remember you walked in kind of going, what am I doing here? What is this about? And you're the one that I thought, we need to share what you're actually doing. So when we come back in February, Eddie, Teresa, some people that have gone through it, now that you've gone through it, are going to come up and share your experience so that they can see what the expectations are for the day, what they walk away with during the day. And so just sign up today that says, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want to know more. And yes, I'll look at the schedule through Chanel and see what's gonna work for us. So if you don't mind doing that for me, and then Chanel, if you could collect that back, I will deliver that personally to Dr. Christian so that she can say, yes, we have new faculty on board. And thank you, Manny, for this time, and we will be back in February. So Chanel, I hand it over to you.
Manny, how many minutes do I have?
Thank you. -3.
-3 minutes, okay.
Hey.
So what I want to do really quickly is just get you all familiarized with the website. Again, good morning, my name is Chanel Tyus. I'm the program manager newly hired about 5 months now for Student Support Success Program. So I support the Office of Student Success and Equity in its management, upscale, standard operating procedure establishment of some of the matriculation services and support services for students on the campus. So one of the projects that I have the privilege of working on is the Summer Bridge program, or Bridge to BC, as it is now officially called. We're not calling it Summer Bridge, we're not calling it orientation. The official title of the program is Bridge to BC, First Year Student Success Day, because that really is the mission of the program in one very non-abbreviated title. So the website is really designed to give everyone the same base of information, whether you're a student, a parent, a faculty member, a staff member, a high school counselor. You should be able to go to this website and get all of your questions answered. There are a couple pieces that are still in refinement, including the few frequently asked questions. But a few things to note. We give a brief description of the program. It's listed in the course catalog as ACDEV V55, so students are assigned, this course has a CRN number, so students are expected to go in and register for this as a summer course, and it's valued at half of a unit in the summer. A description of what is included, workshops, and a lot of these workshops are co-facilitated and presented by campus partners from financial aid, counseling, different areas where expertise lies to come and help students get oriented to these services on campus, and thereby, of course, new faculty in those sessions. The open enrollment dates versus the high school only dates. So in efforts to scale this program up, President Christian wanted to make sure that we could get as many students through this program as possible. So we've established 4 special Saturdays beginning in April for high schools only. So a high school would have the opportunity to say, we've got about 30 to 50 BC-bound seniors who we know are coming to BC. They've already met with your advisors. They're interested, they're committed. We want to make sure they get oriented. And so they will take care of securing a bus and bringing a bus load of between 30 and 50 students for these select Saturdays. And that allows for a more specialized and tailored bridge for just that high school. Again, these are only 4 dates. The format is very similar with the exception of a few pieces. It's hard to get all faculty and staff from all departments to come in and talk about their service for 15 minutes on a Saturday. So the effort will be made to get some videos and clips and just more rely on technology a little bit more to communicate some of these services on the Saturdays. But the rest of the dates you see listed for June, July, and August are all open enrollment. They'll have CRNs. Students will be able to go in and enroll and register for these on their own, and anyone is open to any student. A student only needs to attend once.
So Chanel, if I can just
Questions?
maybe interrupt.
Sure.
Yeah, so if you can scroll down to the dates.
Sure.
I think the crux of our message today is we're looking for everyone, and not just new faculty, but really all faculty. This is just an opportunity for us to introduce you to this program. We're looking for you to attend one of these sessions so that you become familiar with the important content that our students are receiving as well.
Thank you, Dr. Mortanos. And in addition to that, we have some faculty who love the experience so much that they sign up for every single date. So we've got some faculty who just commit to this is a part of what I do in the summer, whether I'm on contract or off. And so you are welcome to sign up for as many or as few as you'd like, but we do have some faculty who have already told me, put me down for every available date, which is awesome. You are paid on special assignment as a faculty member, so I think that's important to note. And if you think about someone who says, sign me up for every single Saturday for almost a 9.5, 10-hour day at 30 hours a day, I'll let you do the math, and that shouldn't be the only motivation, but it certainly is a motivating factor in whether or not you decide to sign up. Other pieces I wanted to show you really quickly is the co-facilitator form. So Dr. Blythe talked a little bit about the format being focused on small and large group interactions. The large group is facilitated by a lead faculty member, and those individuals are identified person to person by Dr. Blythe. So these are people who she's personally seen in the classroom, who she has familiarity with, who she has rapport with, and whose teaching style she knows translates well to this type of fun and interactive, but also informative format. This form is to capture everyone else. So anyone on the staff, any faculty or student ambassadors, because what creates a really awesome dynamic is having not just a lead faculty driving the curriculum, but faculty co-facilitating the curriculum within small groups, and then student ambassadors who are experienced, currently enrolled, typically already engaged as a student employee or a student leader on campus, co-facilitating in those small groups with the faculty co-facilitators. So this form is designed to capture all that. So in addition to the form, which I think is going around, Reese, would you mind circulating that? In addition to the form and President Christian's desire to get your names on paper if you are interested, this form will be used for the internal processes that I have to manage to find out how many days you're signed up for and make sure you get paid for those days, because we want to make sure that your pay is accurate. And this also helps just make sure we know who's doing what. So it gives a little bit of information about what is expected as a co-facilitator. Not only are you doing the small group interaction, you're assisting with the campus tours, you're assisting Dr. Blythe with the logistics for the day. So you're there greeting students as they arrive off the bus or in their cars, checking folks in, running the program, assisting with lunch service, getting them energized and keeping them energized throughout the day. And that day typically lasts about 7:15 in the morning for check-in. We start at 8, but we need to be set by 7:30, and concludes at about 5:30 once everything is broken down for the day. So I want to make sure that expectation is crystal clear. You are paid for a full day. Your day begins at 7:15. It doesn't begin at 8 with the classroom portion. It begins at 7:15, and literally you are part of the crew that facilitates that entire day, soup to nuts, top to bottom. So you'll fill in the basics: name, BC, email, phone where we can reach you. And this section lists all of the dates, beginning with those high school only dates all the way through to the end date in August. So you can click as many of these as you'd like. Submit. Don't click the lead faculty. This will be for those people that Dr. Blythe has identified. If you're in this room, you would just automatically click faculty co-facilitator. Submit. That comes to me. This is a request only for those dates. And from there, Dr. Blythe and I will assign dates based on need for the program. If you have any questions, I'm in A17. I'm in the Office of Student Success and Equity. If you don't know where that is, find Leslie. She can find me. And if you have any questions, I'm available to answer all of those for you. Thanks for your time. Congratulations. Yes.
Where is that form that you just got up?
It'll be on that website. It's currently not live because we wanted to, we can't just all road. But it will be live hopefully next Monday. And once it is live, it's all yours.
And we will also have Kimberly and Chanel back next month in February to talk a little bit more in depth about the program.
Awesome. I'll hang out in the back until that form circulates around, and then I'll be out of your hair, but you can reach me if you need me. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Misty, and I'm an instructor here at BC. I teach economics, and I consider myself kind of like a tech guru in the sense that I've been teaching and using online resources probably since online classes first came about. So I've seen it evolve very, very rapidly in terms of students rejecting it to not wanting anything to do with the technology to now they expect it and ask, first thing they ask, is there an app for that, and can I do it on my iPhone? And so I would like to say that most of the students that are coming from the high schools coming to Bakersfield College, they're coming here with a tremendous amount of knowledge already and expectations that technology is going to be a part of their college experience, even when it's a traditional face-to-face class. I have a couple kids who are still at home who are still in high school, and they get really frustrated when their teachers aren't posting the assignments online in a timely manner, they're not uploading their grades. In other words, they expect that. So again, I see myself evolve from where initially I thought of technology just something I utilize in my online/hybrid courses to where now it's a major component of even my face-to-face classes. So I'm going to be a little short on time, so I thought rather than go through everything that I do, I'll introduce you to a particular website that I use for my courses to, usually I use it for lectures, but increasingly I'm also using it for like kind of tutorials or instructing students how to do something. Because the one thing that I noticed early in the semester is that I get a lot of emails regarding questions on, I didn't understand how to sign up on this website, or, what I'm thinking is students just aren't reading the syllabus clearly. It doesn't matter how clear I make it, that a lot of students still won't read it, but they're completely okay with watching something if I send them a link. So increasingly, even though I'm sending them the syllabus, I'm also sending them a link to a video that's kind of telling them how you go about, utilizing the technology that's in the classroom. And it was funny, I didn't think I was going to make it today. I live up on the mountain, and we all know the storm is supposed to hit. And so I had told Manny that I might not be able to make it. And so then I thought, well, this is all about technology. I guess I could just email a video, and you guys can just watch that. And then it also reminded me again how technology makes class so much easier for our students, because think of how many times our students can't make it to class because they have to work, or they get sick, or they do something with their kids. Having the resources online for the students, what you're really doing is just meeting the needs of the modern day college student. Most college students, they're not just traditional, all they do is go to school. They got a zillion other things going on. So it's very likely that they're probably going to miss class from time to time, or things are going to come up. So the more resources you make available online to the students, the more you're meeting the needs of, again, the current modern day student. So again, it's twofold. And not only is it helping you and simplifying your teaching, but it's also helping the students to be successful in your course. So in addition to Canvas, I also use this website called Apply, and that's because it's provided through my publisher. But what I wanted to show you is that these videos that I create, I actually am able to just embed them right into my website, so as a link. So if I were to click on that link, it's just going to automatically pop open the video that I've made in the website, and then the students just go.
So this is your
directly
first
to that,
week
and then
with
watch
a
it.
reading assignment. You should be reading chapter 1 this week. And of course, after doing your assigned reading, you always want to review the lecture slides that I'm going to be posted. The format
So
is
you
pretty
see,
much going to be the
basically,
same.
How many of you
I
are
will
familiar
have
with
a
Khan
PowerPoint.
Academy? So that's basically what this is like. It's completely free. It's called showme.com. And when you go on this website, you can create your profile. And if you know that you're not going to create a tremendous number of lectures, and you don't need a whole lot of space, then you just use their free version. And you go on there and you can just create these Show Me videos. They give you links, you upload them to your website or upload them into Canvas. Your student clicks on it, they can sit there and watch it. And so you can clearly see that basically it's a blank whiteboard, and then you can either draw, you can embed your PowerPoint lectures, you are able to, anything that you have in your Dropbox account, you can embed into these whiteboard video lectures. And then you can go ahead and record your voice as you're going along, and then go ahead and start, drawing. I teach economics, so that's why this is important to me, because I can't just tell a student, the definition of a change in demand. I need to be able to graphically show them what that means when there's a change in demand, so that they know how to answer the questions on their homework. So that's why I really like the Show Me video app, because of the fact that there's so many different things you can do with it. It's not just a static PowerPoint. It's not just your voice. It's all of it incorporated together. Now, one thing that I did, if I go in here and log in, so again, it's super easy to sign up. Just to give you an idea of what it looks like here. So when you do create your profile, you'll be able to, again, based on the storage that you use, you'll be able to just create all of your show me's. And so you'll notice that I currently have 66 active show me's. Now again, I try to keep everything as simple as possible for the students, because you could just have them go to show me, give them your username, and then they can find it. I prefer to just embed the video lectures into the class website so there's no confusion. This is exactly what you're supposed to be watching, or if you can't come to class, what you can choose to watch instead of coming and listening to my lecture in the classroom. So my attitude is making it as easy as possible for the student to have access to the resources. The harder you make it for them, in other words, if I tell them, oh, you have to go to the Show Me website and then find my lecture labeled Comparative Advantage Part 2. Students don't like to have to take all that time to do that. But if I just embed the link in the website and it's right there, they're much more likely to watch the video like they're supposed to. So again, that's another thing I like about Show Me, is that for each Show Me that you create, it generates a hyperlink that you can use and then just embed right into whatever technology or website that you're using. So what I wanted to do is just show you a couple of minutes of something that I do at the beginning of the semester before the semester even starts, because again, I'll email my students the syllabus hoping that they've already read it and they've already enrolled in the online component and they come to the first day of class ready to go. But a lot of them don't even open, the syllabus and look at it. So increasingly I'm sending them the video link first and telling them, hey, this is giving you instructions for everything that you need to do to be prepared the first day of class, because we're going to be jumping right into chapter 1. So I'll pull it up just to give you an idea of what you can do with the Show Me app.
Hello and welcome to your Spring 2017 course. My name is Misty Stowers and I'm going to be your instructor for the semester. Everybody should have received an email from me, so if you have not checked your BC email, please do so, because it has the syllabus and course instructions attached to it. So again, go ahead and check your BC email if you have not done so. If you already have, then hopefully you have downloaded that syllabus, and the first page of your syllabus should look like exactly what you see right here. In other words, it's basically giving you instructions on how to get enrolled in the online component of our course. You'll be completing all of your homework through the ACLIA/Cengage Brain website. So I want to make sure that there's no confusion as to how you get enrolled on that. I've made it quite straightforward and easy for you to get yourself registered. You'll notice that right here, I already have a hyperlink built into the syllabus. All you need to do is click that hyperlink, and it's going to take you to the web page that you need to be at to get registered. Now, once you click on that hyperlink, it will take you to the home page for the ACLIA/Cengage Brain website. And what you're going to want to do is click on the link you see right down here for new user, where it says create new account. Now, if you have already taken a course utilizing the ACLIA website, then rather than clicking on create new account, you're going to click in right here. You're just going to sign in using your existing email address and password, and then you will just add this course to your dashboard. But for most of you, this is probably the first time taking this course, so you're going to go ahead and click on that new user create new account tab. After you've clicked on that Create New User tab, this is what the screen should look like. And what you're going to want to do...
Okay, so I'll just stop it right there because I know we're short on time, and so I need to wrap it up. But again, you can see where all I've done is taken screenshots from my computer, dropped them in my Dropbox account, and now I'm just embedding them in the whiteboard, and so that way I'm showing students step by step what they need to do to get enrolled on the class website. And then of course, once we get there, then I'll show them everything about it. So that way when they, again, not only is this for online students, you absolutely need to do this because you're not gonna get the luxury of seeing them face to face to explain it. But again, increasingly I like to do this just for my face-to-face classes because that way they come to class day one fully prepared. And when they're not, that's when I get to call them out and be like, I don't know, not starting off the semester so great, not reading my emails already. So, you know, in other words, it makes everything flow much better when students already know exactly what is expected of them, what they were supposed to have done, and we're good to go on the website. And again, for someone like me who lives up on the mountain where sometimes it snows, sometimes I can't get to work, it also makes it great because if that happens, I don't have to worry about really missing a day of class. I send the student the email and say, hey, here's the video lecture. You're watching me on your computer today instead of coming and listening to me in the classroom because I'm not going to be able to make it down. So again, it helps keep your course on schedule when you're able to do this. I do plan on doing like a flex event later on in the semester so that I can like actually go into detail how the Show Me app works for those of you that are interested. So keep an eye out for that. And then another thing that I would say, which I don't have time, but it's great because I didn't realize until I just looked at the schedule. Communication with your students is so important, and the traditional way that we communicated has always just been through email. But again, how many times do you think that college students check their email? Again, I ask my high schoolers all the time, if I accidentally even say, oh, why didn't you respond to my email? My kids are like, Mom, we're not old, we don't use email. You know, so kids are all about the texting and the Instagram, and that's what they're on every day. So that's really the way we should be communicating with them in addition to sending emails. And so I saw that Helen was going to you're going to talk about Remind. Yeah, so that's what I use. So I don't even need to go into it because Helen's already going to talk about it. But if you're not already utilizing the Remind.com or the app that you can get on your phone, that's what you need to do because again, it's post an announcement. Instead of waiting for a student to check their email, it's going to text it to them. You're communicating on a regular basis effectively. No problem. So thank you for letting me come share that with you.
I have a question. What did you use to record yourself in the presentation?
Oh, an iPad.
So you recorded yourself?
You do need a tablet. In other words, because you're going to use the tablet, especially like for the drawing, you're going to use your
So
stylus.
there's an app for the iPad
Yes.
that enables you to do this?
Yes. It's called showme.com. In other words, it's just called Show Me app.
So show me everything.
Yeah,
show me is the
yeah. So if
everything.
you have your iPhone right now or your iPad, you can get on there and look at it. But it's just called Show Me. It's completely free, and it's wonderful.
Do the students need an iPhone or an iPad?
No, they're like you said, I'm on a PC right here. I can pull it up, no problem. And yeah, that's what you can watch it on anything. But to actually create the Show Me, you need to be on a tablet. I mean, you could do it on an iPhone, but it's too little. You want an iPad or some form of tablet to do it. And so it's just an app that you get, Show Me. So like I said, I plan on doing a flex event in the future, and so that way anybody that's interested in it, keep an eye out for that.
What's your attendance policy, and do you find issues once they realize they can watch the lecture online?
Oh, there's definitely issues with that. And that's something that I have to go over the first day of class, that I recognize that some students are going to find just watching video lectures online easier than coming to class. And that's something that students have to come talk to me one-on-one if that's going to happen, because obviously we have a policy. You don't come to, 2 weeks in a row, I can drop you. So if for some reason students are going to want to do that instead, they have to come talk to me, and I need to find out the circumstances. So yeah, but I mean, attendance is a problem no matter what.
Well, it scares me to exacerbate that.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely, that's something you want to go over the first day of class. And this is not a substitute for the class. If you want that, you need to sign up for my online class.
It's not your turn, Matt.
It's my turn.
You can go. Sarah,
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead of me, go ahead, Matt. You're there. Go ahead, Matt, take my spot.
My name's Matt Jones. I like to just merge in where I want to be. So my name's Matt Jones. My full title here is Associate Professor of Instructional Design Technology, which is really long. So I just go by Instructional Technologist. So essentially my role here with you guys is to provide help for you. What we like to do is we try to help you leverage technology to help you engage your learners. So that sometimes that goes above and beyond some of the systems that we have on campus, like Canvas and things like that. We do training with that. And we work with other systems like My Degree Path and things like that. But we can also do other things like look at gamification type of stuff. You know, how you might want to take something and try to gamify a lesson plan. So we do some of that instructional design. But then we also try to do other stuff with text messaging, for example, like text messaging scavenger hunt. Basically, as long as we can find a way that it's FERPA compliant and that there's some innovative approaches that we can take with the tech, we can do it. So that's kind of our main role here. But right now, Michelle Pena was originally going to be here and coming after Sarah Barron, but then I decided, oh, well, it's Matt Jones. We'll just go above Sarah Barron. So she asked me to kind of go over DegreeWorks with you a little bit. Now, I have a history with DegreeWorks in the fact that when I started my ed tech professional career, I actually worked for the company that built DegreeWorks, which was Ellucian. However, since that time, I've been out of it for a little while, so there might be some cobwebs that you'll have to just let me get through on this. So, in order to reach DegreeWorks, you're basically going to go into Inside BC, and you guys are welcome to follow along while you guys are sitting there. And from the drop-down Tools menu in the upper left, this program is called DegreeWorks, but for our branding purposes within the district, it's been called My Degree Path. And if you click on that, it's going to ask you to log in again. You don't need the full email when you log in, but your network password and all that should remain the same. And basically, DegreeWorks is a really nice tool for you so that you can become a little more familiar with the sort of path that the student that you are working with is following. But it's also a really nice tool for your student to be able to sort of create a hypothetical environment. Like, let's say they're an accounting major and they want to totally switch it up and do biology or something. They actually have the functionality within My Degree Path to change their major in a hypothetical way and see what courses would remain for them to take and what courses count that they've already taken and which ones do not. All right? So in order to find a student, you can go through the Find menu. However, Michelle gave me a couple of approved @ numbers that I can use. And you basically just plug it into the student ID area and hit enter. And then it's going to pull up this degree audit for them. And this degree audit shows several different areas. Up at the top, you basically get a lot of the student information. Okay? Then you have a legend that basically details to you what each of these symbols you're going to see throughout the page mean. And then you get kind of into this area where it talks about, we don't always rely on this degree progress bar because it doesn't always calculate correctly. But then you get this degree and associate for transfer area, so it kind of tells you what they're pursuing. And then out of what they're pursuing, which areas they've met. This student is already, finished everything. It tells you their catalog rank, year, the units required, their GPA, and the units they've applied to that pursuit. And then if you scroll down, you actually get their competency requirements so that have they met their math, have they met their English, have they met their reading. If they haven't, then it's kind of similarly how it shows these courses over here in their actual Gen Ed. If they haven't met any of those math, English, or reading, the course name and what they can take and should take pops up over there. And then if they click on the course, let's see, let me get down here. Well, what should normally happen, and this is probably just not on the student ID, but if there's remaining courses that they can take, the course will be listed and underlined and all in blue, and you can click on it and it'll actually pop up saying what sections are available of that course and the term that they need to take it, what days they take and times. So it gives a whole bunch of information about that course. Basically, that's pulled directly from the course catalog. Ellucian, the company who built My Degree Path or DegreeWorks, They also created our student information system banner. So the two work really nicely together. Most of the time.
To log in the My Degree Path, it is just a username prior to the...
Yeah, so yeah, prior to the @ symbol on your email. So mine is matt.jones@Bakersfield College, but mine's just matt.jones to log into here. And then my password should be the same for everything else that I log in. If you are having trouble logging into My Degree Path, shoot me an email, and I can forward that on to Michelle Pena, and they can get you access. Okay. All right. So continuing down this this page, you then get to see what they've accomplished in their general education. Okay. If they haven't finished everything here, where you see they've met the green check mark, so all of these have passed and they're moving forward. If they haven't, then instead of showing the course that they did take with the title of it, just like above, you would get a course listing that shows what they could take in that place. And then below the CS General Education, oh, and if it happens to be like an IGETC transfer to UC stuff, this student was obviously a CSU transfer. If it's IGETC, the content for that will show up in that area as well. Okay. And then if we scroll down, then you also have major in administration for justice. So that's their major. That's their main. And then it talks about, it shows what classes they took to accomplish their major, what grades, and the units that each course was worth. Okay, so it's a pretty handy tool so you get a sense of, the path that the student was going on. Now down here, and this gets a little bit confusing at times, and when I was doing training for this back in the day, right, this was always the point where everybody stumbled, myself included, over what this meant, and sometimes Ellucian sent out different meanings. Well, I'm pretty sure they have a good grasp on it now. But fall-through courses are those courses that are graded with a D and above. They may or may not count towards their degree, and they are included in the GPA tally. So if a student happened to switch from what I was saying, like at the beginning, that accounting to a biology, well, there would probably be courses that did count at one point, but then when they switched, no longer count. Those would fall in here, as one example. It also shows they're currently enrolled, so it shows what they're taking the current semester. Okay. Now below are not counted, so those are things that a refresher on that one, but essentially, not counted refers to courses that were completed with a grade of D or better, do not apply to the degree, but do count towards the GPA. And then there's also another little bucket area in My Degree Path that isn't showing up on this student, but it shows up just like the not counted does, and it's called insufficient. So those are effectively classes that they failed at and don't count, so they're just down there now. Okay? Now the other area that we were just going to go over in My Degree Path today is this area called the what if. And this is that hypothetical environment that I was talking about. So it gives the student a series of options. You can do specific courses. So if they're looking to just add a course and see what that would do to their overall degree audit, they can input that here, put it here, and then it would, when you click up at the top, process what if, it would then include that course into it. The program, same if they decide to pick a different program, but we're going to focus on the top area. This is the one most frequently used. So they can actually come in here, and let's say they were actually going to try to change their catalog here to 2017-2018 versus the 16-17. And right now, it's going to automatically default this window, or sorry, this field, with the current degree that they are pursuing. So in this case, this student is pursuing an administration of justice. They can now come down here and change it entirely up. So let's go biology, and they're going to do an IGETC. Okay? As long as it pops up in this right-hand menu over here, you know that the system is reading it. Okay? Now all you have to do, up at the top, is process the what if. And then what you will see is a new degree audit. Obviously everything here for the student is not checked off. Right? They still have the IGETC general education that they need to meet. They have new major requirements, so that's no longer completed. And then everything else follows. So you'll see down here in Area 1, out of those 2 degrees that they were pursuing, in Area 1, only A and C counted, so they now need to go and get a B now. Okay? And you'll see that over like MSB, see, these classes here are the ones that they could take that would fulfill them. And if I click on that, then it pulls up this window here that gives more information about that course. So it's a pretty cool tool. Any questions? Yeah.
Can we access the students that are enrolled in our courses, or do they have to log in themselves?
You can access them, yeah, in your course. You just have to make sure that you have their ad ID, and then you can plug that into that field up at the top. Is it not working for you?
No.
Okay, I'll come and look at it.
You can search first name, last name too.
Okay. So by clicking the find,
Let me change that.
Yeah, it's like we're locked into a student mode. I can't do it either.
okay, I'll look into that.
I'm only 42% done with my degree, by the way.
Almost there. All right, I'll come look at that. I will now let Sarah go. You need the browser.
Here's my PowerPoint. Good. I'm going to be doing this. You guys, as I'm getting all set up, you can go to, what you can do for me is go to, if you're on a computer, obviously, hello. You could be going to pollev.com/BC polling. I've made it live, so it should work. And then what you do is once you, how many of you have used Polling in your classes? Oh, I love it. Anyway, what you do is once you get to pollev.com/BC polling, I want you to vote on your knowledge of OER, Open Education Resources. Okay, and I'm gonna, as you're voting, I'm gonna be going in and signing in here. Hold. So I'm going into Poll Everywhere. I've set up a little account.
Sarah, can you write the web address again?
Sure, yeah, let me just,
Just write it on the board.
let me sign in real quick. For some reason it's not letting me sign in. Huh. Thank you.
Sorry for the.
PolleEV.com, BC polling. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Okay. So you guys are starting to vote, and when I did this for I went into Alternative Ed and I did a little thing about what their health careers were, and they got so excited about this, they started going crazy, like just voting that. Whoa, cool! But yeah, so I'm gonna lock your votes down in a second, so make your decision. What do you know? What is OER? Throw down an acronym, right? Open Education, well, I'm not going to tell you. I want to see if you've ever heard of it. Open Education Resources. They throw acronyms down just to test your knowledge. Okay, I'm locking it down. Boom. This is what we got. We've got 4% in here who are high knowledge. So I want you to raise your hand. You're using it right now. Or you know of it. Okay, good. My goal is to go that direction, okay? And I'll tell you why. You're going to see my little PowerPoint in a second. And those 4 people who raised your hand, you know why. Textbooks cost money. And I have this dream to streamline everything into Canvas. I don't want to be pulling out to a publisher website using this device. I did a little survey with my students afterwards, and they told me they're getting overwhelmed. They're getting overwhelmed from all the different things. They always have to learn all these different things, and they're like, thank you for using Canvas, using all the using letting me choose how I want to notify. And they're like, and by the way, you send too many emails. And I'm like, well, Rudd, you can turn that off. If you don't want to hear from me, turn it off. You got the power. Because yes, I am an over-communicator. I know that about my personality. But I'm going to make sure that you can never look at me and say I didn't know. Because did I tell you? Yeah, I told you. In my 5 emails in the Canvas, I mean, you can feel my energy. You can't, no. Going to sleep is it's not gonna happen. And I told you like a few times. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click through this PowerPoint pretty quickly. And then what I want you to do is, if you're interested in this, Manny, we have actually had a few grants that have come up, but we do not have the capacity yet to apply for these grants. I used to be a grant developer in a culinary life. And one of the big things when you do initiatives is you really need to have faculty buy-in, and you really need to have people ready to move that direction. And when faculty go, what is OER, what's up with that, you can't push an initiative down, because even me, I'm a big fan of OER, but I need some time to really look through all the material and decide what I'm going to be doing. So listen to that. Let's see here. It is on, but it's not working. I'm going to do the old-fashioned way. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is first I'm going to tell you what OER is, and then I'm going to tell you my little story of how I got hooked into it, and then I'm going to tell you about there's all these legislations and all this money coming down, so you're going to hear it over and over again, because there's been a mandate at the legislative level that we need to start moving this direction. And then we have college. I'm going to let you know who's already leading the way. So we're not going to be the leaders in this. We're going to be jumping behind other people, okay, who've done this before. And then I want to put it out there that maybe we need to start having some groups on campus start talking about this. And then that's where I'm going to end. So let me just tell you that I'm not an expert in OER. What happened was I went to the American Education Research Association and I attended a session. And everything I'm showing you today, people give me. They gave me their PowerPoints. They gave me their materials. Because in OER, Open Educational Resource, you share all your materials. All of them. And then you say how you want them to be used. And I'm going to show you that. And one of the big things is you just got to give people credit. Which I'm good at doing. I'm fine with that. I use your stuff. I'll be happy to say it's from you. So we did this poll. This is who I took. This person right here is really important. I would like to get her on campus, Manny. Here's the contact information. She will do a full day workshop with us at our computers where we can actually explore open educational resources. So think about that. And she's offered to do that. And I've talked to Reese about seeing if we can get her here. And she's also, when you see the grants come out, she's the person who's on the webinar doing all the grants, like saying, this is how you're going to get all your money. So basically what it is Open Educational Resources is basically giving the whole textbook online. And then students have the option of actually sending it to Amazon.com or to a print, and then getting the whole book in print if they want. And chemistry is doing it on campus. A $240 book is now an OER for them. They are leaders on our campus. There's some other departments that are leading. And I had one of the books, I saw one of my students come in with one of the books, and he was just grinning. Another student, right after he finished the class, he goes, what do I need? She goes, you have it. And he goes, yes! $240 you didn't have to spend on a book. Now, again, I'm not saying that everyone needs to move to OER. What I'm thinking of doing is doing a combination of both. You know, still using publisher material, but then bringing in some OER resources to help supplement. So this is a big thing, is that community colleges with CSUB are creating this consortium to move this direction. This is who's moved already. So again, we are not leaders in it. We'd be able to talk to other campuses and see what they're doing. There's funding, right? Bill, Manny, you've seen it come down. We're not ready. We're like, okay, let's apply for the grant. We need buy-in, and we need people to kind of get their heads wrapped around it. So I say when you see an OER workshop, come to this campus, I think we all need to just, whoever's interested, we need to jump in. So this is who I stole, this is what got my attention. Is I was at AER and John Hilton from Brigham Young University, who does a lot of research in this, was presenting. And basically, this is the story with textbooks. Do you see how the prices have gone up? Sometimes people actually pay more in textbooks than they do in tuition. I've actually watched a student start to cry in the bookstore because she got so overwhelmed by it. So it's a real problem. And I also think that if we go a little bit OER, maybe the publishers could start to think about their cost a little bit more. I'm just saying. This is what happens. He did studies and researches on this, and this is what happens. I don't know, have you ever seen people just not buy the textbook? I did, yesterday I was doing one of my classes, and I said, okay, everyone take out your textbook. And I did everything that Misty talked about. I mean, I communicated. You need your textbook. And this is day 2 of class, and it was just like, okay, everyone take out your textbook. And it was like that. I thought maybe they didn't hear me, so I said it again. Okay, everyone take out your textbook, whether it's electronic or print, go ahead and, again. Okay, 5 people had textbook, 7 people had textbooks out of 45. I'm like, okay, now get around each other. So I've actually put textbooks in the library for them to check out. And I've told them to talk to me if they're having issues, because you will need a textbook in my class. We know that. But are they any good? Let me just tell you, so now you move to OER, chemistry moves to OER. Are we gonna see academic rigor drop? Are we gonna see what happens? So he did research on this, and what he did a literature review, and out of 11 peer-reviewed studies, and he has done more since the 3 years, more than 50,000 students, they have 93 same or better outcomes. Because now, if your students actually have a textbook, they might actually do better in your class. So anyway, if you want to see all the research, you can go to this website. And I can push this to Manny, and you can look at this PowerPoint later. This is important for you to know. Basically, there are different levels of permission. And again, it goes for, this is not OER, means it's not open education, you need to pay for it a little bit. And then it starts to move up into public domain. Yes?
I used to build textbooks for a job I had.
Yes.
If you write the people, if it says not OER, and because our students don't have as much money as college students, I found if you write the person who owns the copyright and explain your situation, they will release their Creative Commons license for your particular
See, and that's the thing is that this is one of the things I talked about with Manny, and was creating professional learning communities, because we have experts in the room. I mean, this is exactly what I didn't know. So if we start putting if we had a group, a task group, that kind of worked on this, kind of learned from each other, that I didn't know. So that's really.
They won't always, but I've had situations where I said, pretty please, this is our situation.
And then they release it.
Of course.
So this is a story. You need to understand that it's a faculty choice. The big thing is these are also peer reviewed, so they get corrected. So let's say right now, have you ever found a mistake in a publisher's material? And then it's there. With OER, you're right. You have a mistake in your material. It gets fixed. That's huge for me. So these are the 50 most highest impact college courses. So public health is not on there. I'm a public health science professor. But these are the ones where you have the most peer-reviewed materials out there. So this is something that if you're in this area, you might want to start exploring OER. I'm still going to do it because I did find some really good public health science materials. And I want to kind of end with this website, because I'm keeping my thing right to 15 minutes. Cool4ed.org is the one that Una says is the go-to one if you guys want to pull out on that one. What they do is they have course descriptions, they have syllabuses on there, they have open textbooks, they have ancillaries, they have sample assignments, student feedbacks, lesson learns, and they have actual vignettes from other people. So you can learn from other faculty, because I really believe in peer-to-peer colleague if another public health science person says this is good, then I'm gonna look at it a little bit more. So anyway, I wanna end on, this website and just put the bug in, well, not, I don't like that expression, bug in the air. Let's plant the seed, so that if, Manny and Reese bring, or Bill, bring an OER workshop to BC, that we have such a high attendance that they have to, get another room or something, okay? So anyway, thank you for your time.
Morning, everybody. My name is Bill Mosley, and up until about a month ago, I was a faculty, and now I am the new Dean of Academic Technologies. So, good news is, the hiring of this position represents a huge investment on the part of the college, and specifically a huge investment from Sonia in developing our academic technology here on campus. It's a really good thing, because so far, and you may get the sense from today's presentation, so far our efforts in this area have largely been faculty driven, and they've been very organic in the way they've grown. So what that means is we've got a lot of great people doing a lot of great things across the campus, but oftentimes somebody could be doing something great over here and somebody else on campus might not be aware of it, might not know how to do it. And so one of the first things we're going to be working on in the academic technology area is getting some organization behind our efforts. I'm reaching out to different faculty, finding out what they're doing, and figuring out how we can spread the word about some of these great technologies to all of you, as well as providing training and opportunities to learn about those things. Today might be a little overwhelming because we're going to throw like 20 things at you. That's okay. You don't have to adopt them all at once, right? What I would encourage you to do is think about how you teach or how you want to teach your classes. And that in itself might be a little overwhelming, right, as a new faculty. Maybe you came from an academic background. Maybe you came from a background that's not academic. Maybe you're a subject matter expert. No big deal. A lot of us are on this campus. A lot of people in higher ed are. Right? We become experts at a specific subject like chemistry, and then we're thrown into the classroom and supposed to teach other people. And the only experience we have to draw upon is our own higher ed experience. And maybe that was good, and most likely we've got some really stinker classes in there, right? I've got 2 kids in college classes right now, and it's really interesting to hear about their experiences in those classes because sometimes they're good, and sometimes I'm just kind of shaking my head, thinking, "Wow!" And one of them's at USC, which you're paying $60,000 a year for an education. You would think, and these got to be the best teachers ever. And some of the teachers there, I'm just thinking, "Wow, you really suck." But you must be good at publishing because that's what gets you a job at university, right? We're lucky here at BC because literally all we care about is good teaching and student success. It's a very freeing feeling to be a faculty at a community college. Because if you're a great teacher, you've done it. You've arrived. So that's what we really want. And all I want to do as the Dean of Academic Technology is help you really, really nail the teaching thing. And the title is Academic Technology, but it should be probably something more along the lines of how to learn great, or how to teach very well using technology, or how to be amazing in the classroom or online. Because that's what we want to do for you. So there's a lot of great things we can do. Eddie, would you do me a favor? Would you log into your Inside BC account for me? Today I'm not going to actually talk about using technology in the classroom. I'm actually pinch hitting for Michelle Pena, who's our Director of Admissions and Records, who's sick right now. She wanted me to show you some of the enrollment functions online. So I'm having Eddie log in because I'm not teaching any classes this semester, so I can't really show you anything. So when you log in Inside BC, if you go to Tools, or let's go to My BandWeb. Okay, so then you go to this old school. This interface literally hasn't changed in like 18 years I've been here. So it's super high tech, guys. Try and keep up. All right, so if you go to faculty and advisors, okay, so this is where you've got all of your enrollment, grading, and all that stuff. Have you guys been here already? Hope so. Right? This is where you get your class rosters and things like that. If you're teaching class, you haven't looked at your class rosters yet, or maybe a tad bit behind, that's okay, we can catch you up. So you've got term selection, CRN selection. You can skip those from this first menu because it's going to force you to select a term in a CRN when you tell it what you want to do. So you can get a class roster, a wait list is good if you want to check and make sure your waitlisted students are coming. Let's go to add drop listing. It's a record. There's two different functions. There's add drop listing, and then there's registration drop and withdraw. Add drop listing shows you who's added or dropped the class. You want to find out, hey, which student added the class this week? Those are always the ones, in my experience anyway, your mileage may vary. Those are the ones that are always the most difficult to get going in the class. Those last minute adds. And a lot of times, sometimes it's a student that just couldn't get anything till the last minute, but a lot of times it's people who just waited till the last minute. And that sometimes tells you something about the student profile anyway. But let's go to registration, drop, and withdraw. So you choose the semester, then you choose the class. Okay, so here's what we have. Okay, so it shows the student name, at number, shows how and when they're registered. And obviously, most of you are teaching static unit classes. There are such thing as a variable unit class where somebody can sign up. Does anybody teach a variable unit class? Most people don't. But you can see if you're teaching a variable unit class, how many units that student is enrolled for. And then this little magic button over here is what you'll use to drop or withdraw a student from the class. Now, what's the special occasion that's happening about 1 week from today? Census Day. What is Census Day? It's the day when we count.
Last day of drop the refund.
And without it showing up in the transcript.
Right, and last day to drop with a refund, last day to drop without having a W on your transcript. Also, that's the day when we give our numbers for the state. Now, here's the important thing about this. How many of you are teaching a class that currently has waitlisted students? Okay, so maybe a quarter of you. Here's the thing. You're going to have different semesters where sometimes you're going to have classes that have a ton of waitlisted students, and sometimes you won't. How many of you are teaching an online class? In those online classes, do you have waitlisted students?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you, this week, there's two different standards for keeping a student in class. For an online class, the standard is the student must be actively participating. If your online students haven't done something, not just logged in, not emailed you, but actually done something in your class website, by now, they should be dropped. Let me just tell you, you need to make sure in the first week of class, if you're teaching an online class, always require them to do something. Even if it's just posting of an introduction of themselves in a forum. Something small. Why? Because the state says actively participating is the standard for staying in an online class. If they're not actively participating, they should be dropped. If you have a wait list, this becomes even more important because what you're doing, if you're dropping students this first week, you're making room for other students on that wait list to come into the class who might want to be actively participating in classes. Now, we do have a certain number of students who sign up for online classes thinking that they're not going to have to do anything, or to get the units for financial aid, knowing that they're probably going to be able to skate by long enough to get that financial aid check without actually having to do any classroom. So, by requiring them to participate, or do something the first week and then dropping them if they don't, you're making sure, number one, that we don't have any deadbeat students hanging out for financial aid, which is bad for our financial aid future. They're taking out financial aid that they shouldn't. But also, you're making sure that you have the students in the class that are most likely to be successful in the end, right? Because you're clearing out anybody who's not there. So, for face-to-face classes, you cannot drop a student for not participating. I think that's a bummer, personally. I think we should be able to drop students who are phoning it in during that first week. I'd love to be able to do that, but we can't. The only standard for dropping a face-to-face student is not showing up for class. So by attending class, they are fulfilling the minimum requirements for staying in the class as a face-to-face student. Now, if you've got a face-to-face class where you have students that are just sort of showing up, but physically only, right? We've got those, I call them seat warmers. But if you got some seat warmers in your class, you might pull them aside and say, you sure you want to do this? Because after next week, you're going to get a W. And I don't know if you want a W, but that's the best you can do after next week. If you're going to struggle in this class, or if you're not really into it, or you don't want to pollute your transcript and waste your time and money. And again, especially if you've got waitlisted students who desperately want in that class, it's sort of our responsibility to make sure. So this is where you're going to come to drop those students. Now, let me just tell you something. If you drop a student before census date, they get a refund, and there's no record of them being in your class. I mean, nothing goes on the transcript. After census, they get a W on the transcript. Not a huge deal unless you have once you get past a few school that you might be transferring to, it's going to find it difficult. It also prevents them, it also counts against them in repeating the class if they have a W. So you want to think about it. Also counts against us, by the way, in terms of our retention and success rates as a college, which is a measure that we use to determine, hey, how are we doing as a college? Our retention says how many people who are enrolled in the class at census date make it to the end of the class. That's retention. Success says how many people, or what percentage of people enrolled at census get an A, B, C, D. Does that count as, is that numerator or denominator?
That counts.
Numerator. Okay, so, all right. So A, B, C, or D at the end of the semester. So incompletes, withdrawals, and Fs count against us in success rates. So it's really important to do this enrollment management piece right. Now, one other thing. If you drop somebody after the W date, it's going to ask you also if they dropped a class, when you go to submit grades, if they have a W, it's going to ask you for, the little magical box will appear over here, and it'll say, hey, you need to enter the last date of attendance. So really works in your favor to keep good attendance records. How do you do that online? Last date of participation. So you can get into Canvas and you can actually see. I usually just use the last date they logged in as the last date of participation. It's kind of sketchy, but we don't really audit this information, but it does go on some level to the state, and that's good enough. But if it's a face-to-face class, you just keep attendance, and it's easier for you later on. So it doesn't matter if they drop or if you drop them. Anytime they have a W, or if they have an F in the class, by the way, at the end of the semester, it's going to want their last date of attendance as well. Just something to keep in mind. So, if you go back, just keep going. It'll work. So you got faculty schedule, faculty detail schedule, electronic gradebook. This is not to be confused with grades. Right? Final grades and attendance hours, that's where you're going to go at the end of the semester. The gradebook is just a means of communicating with students. I would highly recommend that if you're going to use an electronic gradebook, use the one in Canvas. Don't use this one. It's easier, and we want to train faculty to start using Canvas. In fact, Matt's going to show you a few Canvas-y things later on. Our goal right now is a minimum of each faculty puts their syllabus in Canvas. If you can do that, we'll be pretty happy. Not totally satisfied, but we'll be happy for now. So Matt's going to show you how to do that. So this is Banner Web, and just some of the attendance and role taking things you want to keep in mind at the beginning of the semester. I'm gonna stop talking now because we got lots of other things to show you today. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. Yes.
Is there, how much flexibility do you have as a district college with the interface of this? Because one thing I've done most of the time, just from not the venue, but with submitting your grade, you know how when you have over 25 students, you use trending page. You know how I have 2 pages? And it's been in the past where I submitted and the product submitted and refreshed, and then here are 4 students that didn't get their grades. And I know this last winter I but Michelle, because there's 3 or 4 students that thought I hadn't put the grade. There's no submit button that says you successfully submitted all this.
Right.
Yes, that happened. That semester.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish it showed.
So each page,
Successful submission.
when you're entering grades,
Just that, just let me know and then I keep doing it.
what you have to do, each page
Yeah.
is each page of data you hit submit, and then you go to the next page. You have to treat it almost like a separate group. And although I wish we could just show them all in one list, we can't do that.
Or
It
even
is too bad.
a submission like you successfully submitted all your students and not 23.
This is a prepackaged product, and here's the deal. We've made alterations to it. We have as few as possible because every time that they upgrade the product, we have to go back in and redo every change that we've made, which introduces all kinds of possible errors and messes, and just, it's a ton of time. So if this was our product, yeah, we'd be just like, yeah, let's just make the change. But it's a packaged product that we've deeply modified, and that's a horrible, horrible road to go down. But the answer would be no, I guarantee it, yes.
Is it a brief question to ask you to describe mechanics of reinstates?
Reinstating a student requires a paper form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So the mechanics meaning, how do you do it?
well, I know how to do the form, but
Yeah.
are those only for people who got dropped after the census date?
No, you can reinstate after. It's a little bit more of a hassle, and they want to be really careful about those.
Yeah.
But what I always tell people when I'm dealing with my online students is I would always err on the side of dropping somebody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty ruthless when it comes to dropping my online students. If they haven't participated after the first week, I drop them. I usually do a couple of reinstatement forms each semester. Gloria?
I have a question about the reinstatement form. If I'm remembering correctly, and it's been several years since I've had to use it. I remember that we had to have the student actually had to sign the form and take it into the office. Is that still required?
Yes.
Control. Online students, they don't live in town.
For online students, they have been a little bit flexible, but the actual method for that flexibility has changed. What I would suggest is if you have an online student that you need to reinstate who cannot come to campus, and by the way, the vast majority of our online students come to campus on a regular basis, so for some it's not going to be a problem. Every once in a while you'll get one that lives too far away or whatever, is homebound or just can't make it here. In those cases, A&R has been flexible with that and allowed me to sort of walk the form around the dean and the department chair or whatever and then just hand it in, or they work out some other way of doing it with the student. Right now, I don't know what the official position is. Long term, what I'd like us to move toward is a standard set of equivalent procedures for all of our online students, not just for the reinstatement form, but we got like add forms, grade changes. I mean, all of the things that we do for students, but right now we require a face-to-face presence. We've got to figure out an online analog for that that's really, truly fitting for an online student. We're just not, we haven't had anybody who's devoting their time to figuring that stuff out yet. So that's on my list. It's a big list, but anyway, thanks everybody.
Good morning. I'm Helen. I teach in communication, and I have 3 things I'm going to need. It's kind of like my show and tell time, okay? So there are 3 things I'm going to talk with you about today. I'll talk with you about Prezi, which is lots of fun to use and is also extraordinarily collaborative for students, and you can even use it for collaboration in the classroom. Then I'm going to talk with you about Performative, which is like Poll Everywhere on steroids. And then I'm going to talk with you briefly about Remind.com, which a lot of you probably use, so I'll share with you some best practices and some ways to get around that 140 character limit. All right? So, first of all, how many of you use digital presentations in the classroom, ever? how many of you, keep your hand up, that you always use PowerPoint? Okay. And when you use PowerPoint, do you put more than 7 words on a screen at a time? How many of you do put more than 7 words? How many of you put multiple bullets on the screen? Okay. I want to urge you to be careful about that, because there's a problem that we have, and it's with our brains. Our brains only take in so much information at once. And when we have something on the screen like this, and we cannot get rid of it, it's a problem. Because our brains want to focus on that and not on the person speaking. And that's why you should use something that allows you to blank out the screen. Like I've got my little machine right here, and I need to figure out which hole it goes into. So you gotta play around with the technology. Sounds like it went in perfectly. Hopefully it did. You gotta make sure your technology is on. And then you can blank out the screen if it's working.
It might be installing the drivers, Helen.
No, it has to be immediate.
I agree. Let's call Todd.
But anyway, there's something called cognitive load theory. Okay, how many of you know about cognitive load theory? Okay, good. Then I'm sharing new information for a lot of you. So cognitive load theory, I want to blank out this screen so badly right now, and I don't want to turn it off. But cognitive load theory is what we're violating right now. Okay? Cognitive load theory says that we are essentially curious human beings. Actually, everyone is curious. And the things that are hardest for us to puzzle out are the things that we're most attracted to. When you're decoding language that is spoken, it's like a couple of processes in our brains, no big deal. But when you're decoding language that is written, it's like 14, 15, 16, 17 processes. And since we're essentially curious, we are drawn to the words that are on the screen. And multitasking is a myth. Our brains cannot do it. What actually happens is that your brain goes to one thing, and then if you switch to something else, it turns that thing off and goes over to something else. My students never believe me, but it's true. Exactly. And so what happens is we're drawn to all that crap on the screen, and we miss what's being spoken. So if you put up a PowerPoint that has a bunch of bullets, and it's all stuff for students to write down, they'll write it down. They won't hear anything you said. Not a word. It's like the worst thing you could do to possibly allow for education to happen. It's like you're asking them to text and drive. Okay? And so cognitive load theory tells us a lot of important things about presentation design, which is why I'm going to try one more time to turn off this damn screen. On. Never mind.
You can hit the monitor switch, and it'll switch to your second monitor, and there's nothing on the second monitor, so.
Well, there it is. There actually is stuff on the second monitor. Where's the monitor switch? This is why you're always supposed to be able to practice with your technology before you use it. That's so nice.
But that machine was off, it'd be like, yeah, sorry.
Okay, it's okay. I'll just go back to this one. Wait, which one is it? 8? There we go. It's less stuff at least. All right, so that's the first thing you have to understand about presentation design. And I go into classrooms of my other faculty all the time when I'm evaluating classes, and so often I see all these things on the screen. I'm like, no, stop it. You're hurting your students' ability to learn. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to help our students learn. So that was the first beg that I have for you, is when possible, keep a blank screen. Otherwise, it's going to draw students' attention. Okay? Even in the classroom, when you're going to have a video, turn the screen off until the video. Because so often, if I forget to turn the screen off, I catch my students constantly. There's nothing on the screen. They're still looking at it. So please turn the screen off until you're going to use it. Now, I don't have enough time to teach you all about Prezi today, but I brought you 2 handouts that have everything you're ever going to need to know about getting started on Prezi. What I will share with you today is very, very brief, and it talks first about a little bit of that situation.
Here's 310 in progress. Request backup. 10-4. What's your location? Dander Building. Conference room. Backup on the way. Dispatch. Please be advised. Use extreme caution. This sicko has 5 hostages. And he's using bullets.
Let's go to the next bullet point. The Dander 500 offers new and improved and revolutionary technology.
Smile politely. Looks like you're interested. My boss will be impressed that I can sit through yet another one of these.
If I had a knife right now, I would slit your throat, hang you upside down, and let your blood roll out until it made a nice little pool all over the carpet.
He doesn't even notice me. It's like I'm invisible.
He doesn't even notice me. It's like I'm invisible. No, why even pretend?
Dander 500 is a winner and a no-brainer. And great. A portion of our profits also help to fight stress in the workplace. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try the next picture. Now you can see here the Dander 500 works in any house, and it also works on any surface, such as leather couches or even satin couches. So you see, the Dander 500 can be used almost anywhere. Yes, yes. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, the Dander 500. Oh God, no. Next picture. Let's go
back. Stand down. Situation resolved.
Thank goodness. He started using pictures.
So do the world a favor and remove as much text as you can from your PowerPoints and succumb to the incredible efficiency of pictures.
Now, if you want to learn more about putting together presentations that are really effective, learn more about brain science. I love the book Brain Rules. If you haven't read John Ignor's book yet, please pick it up. It's fantastic. Now, Prezi is a really cool technology that I love to use all the time. And the reason I love to use it is because it's non-linear in nature. PowerPoint is extraordinarily linear. And it's great if you're a really linear person. If you're non-linear, or more non-linear, then it's really frustrating as hell. And think of Prezi like a big whiteboard. You can put things anywhere on that whiteboard, and that's one of the reasons it's so great for collaboration. It's great for collaboration because you can put everything on the whiteboard where you want it, and then you can have students move things around because they can sign in and be part of a collaboration in the classroom. So imagine that you have a group of students who are putting together a presentation together. Because we often have students doing great presentations. They can collaborate outside of the classroom in different places on the same presentation. And yes, they can also do that in Google Docs with the Google Present, but this is a little bit more friendly to moving things around, and they can talk to one another, and it's very interactive and enjoyable for most students. So what's nice is that with Prezi, yes, you can do simple things. You can just pop yourself in there. You can also zoom in and out in the same space. It's like taking a little picture and then zooming in, taking another picture. Every frame that you create is like taking a picture. And so you can, yeah, it might look complicated, but it's not. You can zoom out and zoom in, and there are only 5 tools to master, which are all explained on the handouts. There's insert image, add text, create path, add a frame, and zoom images. And so it's very simple to use. And students First, if they've done a lot of PowerPoint, they kind of struggle with it, they get angry, because they're like, this isn't what I'm used to. But it also stops them from using the things that are very bad, which is putting in too much information at once. So, again, I love the collaboration aspect, so I'm going to show you a very brief video before I move on to the next show and tell item, all right?
Create Prezzies in real time with up to 10 others, whether you're in the same room or miles apart. You'll first need to share your Prezzie. So click the Share icon on the top menu and select Share Prezzie. Depending on your privacy settings, you can either send a link directly to your team or add their email addresses below. Make sure they're set to Editor and then click Add. Heads up, they'll need to sign up for a Prezzie account before they can start to collaborate. Once someone opens the Prezzie, you'll see their avatar appear over on the right. When you work together in Prezzie, you don't have to edit the same thing at the same time. That way, you can work more efficiently without missing any deadlines. To see what your teammates are up to, first click the arrow to expand the sidebar. Then, click on their avatar and select Zoom to Position. You can zoom from one avatar to the next. Don't worry. Any changes that are made to your Prezzie are saved in real time as long as you're connected to the internet. If you'd like, you can also invite others to edit. Or, if you're ready to present, just click Start Presentation. When you're presenting, your team can still make any necessary edits. If you need to make a change, just click the pencil icon to go back to edit mode. Yeah, history in the making. Once you're done, click Go Back to return to the presentation. And that's it. Start creating your Prezzies together. And be sure to check out our awesome Learn and Support page for more tips on making great presentations.
And there are literally 40, 50 different videos that Prezzie has that help people to learn how to use Prezzie. Every single aspect of Prezzie, there's a video for, and it's all closed captioned, which just makes my heart sing. Because closed captioning doesn't just help us meet the law, because we have to have everything that we use in the classroom and in connection with students has to be closed captioned, but it also, every time we close caption something, we help all students who can see the captions learn. Okay? Study after study shows that learning disabled people like me really, really benefit from closed captioning, having it always on. And then also, every student, when they have a classroom that is consistently closed captioned, they have higher achievement scores than students who are in classrooms where everything isn't closed captioned. So please, it's not just because we're trying to meet the law, it also helps people learn. All right, so that's the first part, Prezzie. I know it was a brief nutshell, but hopefully it just piqued your interest. And the next thing I want to talk with you about briefly, go back to what I have here, there we go, is Go Formative. So let me, first of all, open this little guy. There we go. I'm going to write this on the board for you, nice and big, so that if it takes you a few moments to get there, you won't lose it. But go on your computers, and keep in mind, if you were doing it on a phone, you could also do it on your phone. So when you go to Go Formative, you can just sign up, and you can sign in with Google, which is what I always do. Let me assign this so that you can actually do it.
Should we do it for this purpose as a student when we sign up to be a part of this?
As a student for now. Okay. And it'll allow you to also do it as an instructor later. But you don't have to fully sign up. You really just need the quick code. As I'm giving away the answers. Oh, Brian started. Yeah, I'm giving you all the answers as we go along.
What was the code? Oh, I see it.
And so as you go along, you'll see that this is what the instructor sees along the way. Yes.
Is this going to be more helpful? I know a lot of teachers use clickers, and maybe it's problematic because something like that. Can this be a substitute for?
This is free, and this semester in all of my classes, all my students have smartphones for the first time ever, and they can do this directly on their smartphones, and they don't have to be logged in. There's also an app for it. Yes, I have to look again because I sometimes get my technologies confused in my brain. But they just sign in and put in the code, and they can take a quiz. And what's nice about it is that afterwards, usually I'll show them this part, but you can remove the student names from, trying to remember how to do that. It used to have a remove student names. Now it does not.
I don't anymore because I tried to do this on my Wednesday class.
And you're like, oh no, you shouldn't see the names. Yeah, what the hell?
You used to be able to blend them, right?
Yeah.
But now
I have to send them a theme letter.
I couldn't find it either on Wednesday. I took math.
Oh, does it tell you?
Can you ask them, maybe students, when they sign in with their names, that put in a name, do like a name or give themselves like a actor name or something?
You know what, I haven't had this problem because I haven't used it this semester. And I'm just like, whoa, they took something away. It was very useful. Oh well, I'll bother them about that.
I saw the, I didn't point out.
Now, if you were not a guest student, but you had signed in entirely like Claire did, I could give you feedback like, where you were. There we go. If I can spell.
You used to hide those names.
Yes, I know, and that's why I'm going to send them a letter, because you used to be able to, literally up until the end of last semester. I did not realize they'd changed that on me. Oh, there it is.
They changed it to an icon. They changed it to an icon. Nope, but you can't do it.
You can have different life results.
You can do it on the single question.
Where is it?
It's over here. And so you can take off the percentage, you can take, and so it's over here with this little person icon, but you can't do it on the whole thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell them to put this on the summary. Since they took away the note here. Yeah, yeah.
Down at the bottom.
And so then, let's look at question 3. It should have the, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Question 3 isn't a question. There we go. There are the answers. I'm really proud of all of you. That you can all point out our college president. And so as we go through, again, you can take the names off there. I would do that like before class, I guess. But anyway, it's going to be hard. I have to get them to fix that. Anyway, what's really beautiful about this is that you can go through and talk through the answers with the students, and then you can say, okay, it looks like almost everyone knew the answer to where BC was originally housed. That's fantastic. And so then you can talk about the background and all of that. And it just, this makes me really sad. So, just so you know, Grace Van Dyke Bird was not
A librarian.
no, she was.
But not for 50 years.
She was librarian.
But no, but not for 50 years. That was the
50 years
answer.
ago.
Or did I do?
That's the one that's not.
Yeah, it's the one that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've confused myself this morning. It's okay.
I always have to reread the question. All of these are true except for one.
Exactly.
Okay.
So she was not the first. She was not a librarian. So yeah, it's very straightforward, and what is really helpful about it is here, because you can have students circle or draw right on the screen, and or draw pictures even. And then you click what was correct.
Can you select all if they were, or a group of them?
I know where you're.
You could highlight the groups and then mark it.
Yeah, that would make sense, but it doesn't take that long. I mean, you don't have to walk down a hallway and go to a printer or anything.
I think there's one in the lower right-hand corner that was X on the actual room. In the lower right-hand corner. I don't
This
know
one?
whose it is, yeah.
Oh, it's that teeny tiny X.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the room
On the actual room. And it isn't actually following instructions. Yeah. So there's a lot that you can do here that you can't do with some other technologies. You can put a diagram in and have students draw on the diagram. And for a lot of the different types of courses that we teach, that's really helpful. And it's incredibly easy to put one of these together, because you literally, all you have to do is new assignment, add question, add content. And it's that easy. So that is the basics of Go Formative. And now I have to move on to the next thing really quickly because they only gave me 15 minutes for each item.
When you upload and hit upload and transform, does that give you the quick code at that point?
Is it what?
Give you that quick code when you
No.
hit the upload? How do you get the quick code?
You get the quick code when you assign.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, when I'm here, you click assign, and that's where you get the assign.
Okay.
And then you can close it when you don't want anybody to answer any questions. So that was formative.
You can export, right, Helen?
Yes, you can. You can, and you can also, with students who are signed in now, it used to be that you could only have the single grade, but now it keeps like a running tab grade sheet for all students who are signed in for a class. Yeah, so that's really very helpful. So now, and hold your questions to the end. I'll get the questions at the end because unfortunately I only have a teeny tiny bit of time and I do want to get done on time so that I don't throw us all behind schedule. So let me talk with you briefly about Remind. How many of you already use Remind? Okay. So what I would like you to do on your phones, if you have your phones, it doesn't have to be a smartphone, it can just be any phone. You're going to the phone number 81010. And then you're going to type in ACT D74 C3.
Do you know how it pulls up their name, like where it pulls their name from when they
from your phone?
So whenever you have your phone, okay. Yeah. Well, it was hilarious because it was like, who's perfect is J-Ho?
One of the things that I like about Remind is that it does have desktop notifications. So when you're sitting in your office and you're doing anything, you can get a notification when a student sends you a text via Remind. That is extraordinarily helpful to me because I'll be doing something, working on other things, and a Remind message will pop up. I answer it immediately, and then the students feel like I've answered in the 3.7 seconds that they prefer. Now, there are a lot of ways to use Remind. You can use it just for classroom reminders. You can also use it to send out extra credit. You can also use it to make sure that your students are paying attention, to give them an answer on a quiz question ahead of time. And the most important way that I use it, though, is to just continuously let them know, hey, this is coming up. Don't forget. And yes, Canvas does that. Canvas has the reminders on it. But I forget to say things in class sometimes. Like really important things that they really need to know. And so those are some of the things that I will often send out on Remind, like, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. And so I really enjoy using Remind because it helps students feel like I'm actually connecting with them, and I'm connecting with them in a way that they prefer. What I found when I switched to Remind was that students started talking to me about what their concerns in the class were. Because I was connecting with them where they are, instead of connecting with them where I am. And as a result, since all they had to do was move from one thing to another on the phone that is constantly attached to their hand,
When I send them a remind message, they go, oh, I can send her a text. And so then they have a question, they text me. And often the text that they get back is that I'm not in my office hours right now, but I will return your message as soon as I get back. And so that lets them know in that instantaneous window that they like to receive feedback that I care, I'm not ignoring them. Okay? So there are some problems with Remind. Problem number one, you only get 140 characters. And so that has taken some workarounds for me. First of all, when I want to share with my students a link, I never send them the full link. I always bit.ly it. And so I almost always have bit.ly open on my computer because I need it to give the link to whatever it is. So for instance, if I wanted to share this, it's almost 140 characters by itself. If I bit.ly it, it shortens it to something that still gives me room to write what the link is that I'm sharing, and maybe important information about it. Like for instance, I'll share links to extra credit opportunities outside of class, like events going on campus. And so as long as somebody has a website for that event, I can share the link. But too often people don't put up web pages for their events on this campus. Just saying. Okay? So that is the first big workaround that I use. The next big workaround that I use is really the only reason I ever use PowerPoint. And that's that I'll make a PowerPoint slide and save it as a JPEG and then upload it to Remind. So those look like, let me go to another class. There we go. So then this was a long ways PowerPoint slide. Okay? And so I created a JPEG out of that PowerPoint slide, and then I was able to share with them a whole lot more than 140 characters. So that's my other big workaround on that 140 character limit. And it's very easy to attach anything. You can also schedule when you're going to send something. So if you think of something you need to remind your students of at 2 a.m., keeping in mind that they keep their text notifications on loud in their homes, so you can schedule it for 8 a.m. and it'll go out at 8 a.m. Yeah. So I like using Remind. It keeps me on track and it also keeps things working. Yes?
Can you send a reminder one time to all 4 courses? It's all the same message? I haven't found that, but it copies and pastes really easily.
It does copy and paste really easily. It's a really good question. And let's see. Hold on. Yes, you can. Hold on. I know how to do this. It's been the, yeah, you can.
Oh.
And so yeah, you can send it to all of your classes.
I don't know if you can through the app on your phone though. I'm not sure or if you can, it might take a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain. So now I'm going to take my last 5 minutes for questions on all 3 of these.
Wait, hold on. Can you show me where you just did that so I can write
Yes.
it down and apply it?
Absolutely. So what I did was, you look at the right icon, the writing icon next to messages, and then you choose class announcements. Also keep in mind that you can, yeah. Also keep in mind that you can create a group conversation. So if there are a group of students that you want to be able to talk to one another outside of class, so for instance, if there's a study group in your class and they don't necessarily want to share their own personal text information with one another, you can set up a group conversation for them. The only problem with that is that you will also be included in that conversation.
Is this very different than Canvas? Because you can do class announcements, you can message students.
Yes, however, not all students are comfortable with Canvas yet. And also, the Canvas inbox still goes through the Kern Community College District server. I find that Remind, they get the messages a lot more quickly. Sometimes messages that still go through the Kern Community College District server show up a couple days later. Just saying.
Because I know I'll get it in my BC email, but then I'll also get it in Canvas. I'll get it in 2 places. So I guess it just depends on how you have your alerts.
Yeah.
Another critical difference with Remind.com is that they can choose to receive it via the app on their phone or by text message. And study after study shows us that text messaging is like 80% more effective at reaching students than email is.
Yeah.
Even a personal email, that's not even talking about our email.
And if you and when you have older students, they can choose to receive it via email.
On Canvas, if they set up the notification to go to their phone, does it take that long? Like, does it have to go to the server still? Like, so on Canvas, they can set up the notification to go to their phone.
I believe it still goes through the servers.
It's
'cause-
email.
Yeah, it's just email.
They can get the emails on their phone, but it's still email.
They can also set it up to just, they can put their cell phone number in and get messages and stuff that way.
It still goes through the email
It
system.
still goes.
And I don't know
Because
what's
it
up
says
with
that
the
it'll charge our
district
text
server.
messages.
You might be thinking of the Canvas app,
Yeah,
but
the
it's,
Canvas app takes you directly, like, they can get inbox messages, like email, but it's on their phone. So they can just get a notification, they open that up, and it's like regular.
yeah, it's not actual text message, it's the app. So,
And so it still bounces through the district server. And I'm not sure what it is
Because
about.
I don't get, I
going
set
through the district server, but
myself
it's
up to
supposed
get
come.
notifications to my phone, and it doesn't go to the app, it just goes to my text message.
from Canvas,
Yeah, I get them, so I know when students.
that may be a new thing.
What's that?
That may be a new thing. Canvas is rolling new things out all the time.
When it comes to your phone, is it still something you have to click to see what the message is, or does it show you what the message is?
It kind of gives me a little bit of break, but then it says
Okay.
for more information, just click, and then I have to click and go in.
I'll have to look into that, but Remind.com might be a better option for mass messaging.
I use it
even
too,
now.
I just
Yeah.
was just curious.
And Matt, you were talking about how they may let us do the widget in Canvas or an
Yeah, that's-
integration of some kind with Remind.
I was looking into that, and it doesn't look like it's completely functional yet, but they're basically changing it from where you enter it as a script into like you have to use an iframe, but that's the furthest I've gotten so far.
Okay, so speaking of Canvas, Matt's gonna come up in a moment, and while he's getting set up, any other questions about Prezi or GoFormative or Remind? I know it was just show and tell, but hopefully it's piqued your interest, yeah.
I'm having some difficulty, and I don't know if it's on your side with how certain things were set up, but, so you can go to the website Remind, you can go to the app Remind, and then also, if you've already had a conversation going with a student via text message, you can just go to your text messages and then talk with the student directly through that text message. The one issue I was having is I went to set up all my new classes or sort of reuse my class codes for this semester, but then for some reason that didn't show up on my app. And so I had one class register using the ones from the website's accounts, which some stuff shows up and some stuff doesn't. I don't know why. But then my other classes, I had to reset up all new courses through the app. So I don't know if it's something I did from how I set up the accounts, or if it's an issue altogether. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe be very careful about how to do it.
I haven't had that experience, so I'm not quite sure. But if you do have more questions about Remind or GoFormative or Prezi, those of you who did sign up real quick on Remind, feel free to send me a text, and I will answer it.
I should have left your Gmail open, I could send an email faster out. Okay, Canvas. So to get to Canvas is pretty much, raise your hand if you're familiar with how to get to Canvas. Okay, awesome. For those of you that aren't, all you have to do is when you log into Inside BC, you actually get a couple of options. Now you'll see I do not have the link here that's required. It's called, it should be your My Courses link or drop down menu. If you click on the My Courses and then you click on the course, that should pull you into Canvas. Or you can go to the Tools menu, the same place where we went to My Degree path earlier, and just below that you can click on Canvas and that will take you to Canvas. So when you first get into Canvas, you're going to get to your dashboard that should look something like this, just a bunch of squares. We're not going to go over this today, but you have the ability to change it from being color-coded, just these color blocks, to actually inputting an image. The problem is that you can put an image that will represent your class, but it's automatically going to come with a web color value, right? So even if you upload an image of your book, for example, the cover of the book, for example, you may come back to this page and it may have like a faint green or blue or a red over it. So in order to do that, if you want to change it so that your book appears more clearly, message me and we can get you settled with that, okay? It's pretty simple. We just need to change the color value that it provides. But I don't want to go over that today. Over here, we sort of have a series of menus. This far menu here, we call that the top menu. And from the top menu, you have a whole series of things that you can do. The very top is your account settings. You probably do not have admin. If you do, let me know because we will remove you. Then there's also the dashboard, courses, the calendar, the inbox, the commons, and the help. If you are experiencing any sort of issue when you're in Canvas, click on the help option, and that will pull up a series of ways that you can contact us or the help desk to actually get responses for your help. When you input a help desk ticket, that does come to Tracy and myself, at least to start. If it's something we can't solve, then we escalate it and it goes back to instruction and they work on it. There's also this nice area called the Commons. All right, for those of you that don't know what the Commons is, the Commons gives you access to the global network of Canvas users. So everybody out there using Canvas is putting stuff up here. They're talking about issues they're having. They're talking about ideas they have. And it provides some pretty cool functionality. So let's say, and this is the example I always use, so if you've been in one of my trainings, you've heard this before. But the example that I use is a word count. If you want a word count when you're in Canvas and you're typing in a text field, it doesn't provide that word count. But someone out in the community decided that would be a great thing for us to have. So they suggested the idea, then enough people voted on it within the community, and you're members of the community, so you have the ability to vote. They voted on it, and then Instructure saw how many votes it got, so now they're working to implement that word count tool. So it's a pretty cool tool. There's also open resources on here that other faculty have shared from around the globe, so if you see something that you could adapt into your course, you can pull it from the Commons. And if you need help with that, let Tracy and I know and we can do that. Now, Helen and some of the others touched on the messaging tool within Canvas briefly. That's all done here from this inbox link. So you can go ahead and click on it. So as they were saying, you actually get messages in two places. Not only do you get it here in Canvas, but then you also get it in your Outlook. Right? So you can go back and forth between the two places and see those messages. It's actually very user-friendly.
I do have a question about that. If I answer through Outlook, do they still receive, or do I have to answer through Canvas?
For those of you that have experienced that, if you answer the message that came to you from Canvas in Outlook and you respond to that message, do they get it back, or is that your question?
Yes.
Does it go back through Canvas to them?
Yeah, they get it in their inbox.
They get on the other, because I always think I have to log back to Canvas.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it works both ways. The nice thing about that, and there's so many faculty now on campus that are using Canvas, and see, Tracy and I get to use it from a very training perspective, so we don't get to get in that nitty-gritty stuff. So, you guys, as faculty and as colleagues, are great resources for each other. Okay, so in order to send the mail, all you really have to do is you have to come here to this All Courses and select which course you want access to from which you're going to send that email. So I'm going to go Canvas and Introduction. from this drop down, I have access to all the different inboxes, the sent, boxes that you typically have in your email. And then to send one, I'm just going to click on this page with the pencil. And from here, I'm in the right course. And then if I click on this address icon off to the far right there, I can either send a message to everybody in the Canvas introduction course. I can send it to other people that are teaching, which typically includes things like your SI leaders and things. Their names should pop up in there too. Or you should also get another link that says students. Now obviously I do not have any students enrolled in this class, but if you click on that student link, you will get a whole list of all the names of the students in this course. You can then select specific students and send a message directly to them. Or if you do it from the all in the course option, that sends it to everybody in the course. But if you do that, make sure to click the send an individual message to each recipient. That is essentially your BCC, so that I send it to everybody, but you don't see each other's email addresses and all that information. Okay? So it's pretty straightforward using the message tool. The next thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of is when you're in Canvas, there's a couple things that need to happen in order for you to start using stuff within the system. This is, at the very top, this is your account settings. From here you can set up stuff in your profile, so your name, you can put a little biography of yourself up there, what your experience is. You can put up like common forms of methods of contact, like your cell number if you wanted to do that. You have access to your settings. But the two we're going to focus on today are notifications and files. Okay? So you may have heard during the Remind discussion a topic of students' notifications and how you set it up and how they can receive things. So there are two types of notifications that occur within Canvas. At least two. Well, let me get to that. So from the notification preferences, this is where you as the instructor can sign up how you want to receive things. So let's say your students have uploaded their assignment, right? They're turning it into Canvas. From here you can select how frequently you want to receive those notifications. So if you wanted to be notified the instant somebody uploaded something into Canvas, this is where that's done. And you would just basically click on the check mark, and the key is up at the top, and I would say notify me right away on that given topic. Yeah, Bill.
Just to jump in real quick, would you go, I want to divert you a little bit. Will you go to settings real quick?
Okay.
This is where we were talking about the possibility of receiving text messages. If you add another contact method here, go ahead and add your cell phone, Matt.
Hold on, I need to look up my cell phone. I think it's under Bill Mosley.
Yeah. And then choose your carrier. What you'll see is below that it creates what's called an SMS email. So this is still going through an email system. It gets emailed to your carrier, which then gets translated as a text message to your phone. So it comes through your phone as a text message, but note it's still getting sent through the email system. So your mileage may vary and it may not be as instant. And also, while you're getting notified that way, your mileage also may vary with regard to replying as a text message. So it's more of a one-directional, this thing just got posted to Canvas type of response. But go ahead and register the SMS and then go back to the communications column. So I want to show.
Does the student see your number? Your cell phone number?
No.
But if you want, we can send out a broad email with it on it.
So you just see, he clicked the button. Has the message come through yet, Matt?
Yeah.
Because it took a little bit for mine to come through because it's doing the email thing again. So it sends you a verification code.
That's also the same thing with Remind. People like text each other through it, but they don't actually know each other.
Yeah, it shields, most of these services shield the numbers. Okay, so now that he's got his number set up, go back to your profile. And where's your, notifications, sorry, my bad. Yeah, notifications. So now you'll notice here that he's got 2 columns, and he can do individual settings for each column now. So you can do that, and you can also do that with multiple email addresses if you'd like. So you have multiple options there.
when you're setting up notifications, this is all about how frequently you want to be notified of activity occurring within your course. It's pretty straightforward. So if you click the check mark, that's going to notify you the moment something happens. So Jeremy Renner submits his assignment, I get that notification saying immediately that he submitted his assignment. If I do a daily summary, it's going to send something to me at the end of the day saying, this is what happened within your course. If it's a weekly summary, it comes by the end of the week, and I think you should receive it by Saturday at noon, I believe is when it should come in by. Or you can put the X which says, don't send me anything. So it's always kind of a good practice to go over this with your students, because they have different notification settings than you do. So you could have it set notify me right away when somebody turns something in, and if they have, when you send an announcement, set to do not send me anything, and then they come, oh, I don't know what happened, right? Well, that's why. Okay? So, yeah.
Do you know why it shows me as 2 email addresses and one is just what comes before Bakersfield College?
I do not. But I can look at that.
Okay.
I'll come over. Okay. Now the next area I wanted to cover real quick is called files. Okay, and you're under account still. Go to files. And in this area, you actually have a series of different folders, right? Your folders, you should have one up at the top that says My Files. And then after the My Files folder, you should have a series of folders that are titled after the courses you're teaching, correct? There's a distinction between who sees what in each folder. If you put subfolders or other files under the My Files, those are specifically yours. Your students do not see those. If you put that content or subfolders underneath any of the ones that are titled after your courses, your students have access to those, permitted they're published and all sorts of other smaller features, right? But your students have access to those things in your course folders. Another thing is there's areas when you're importing stuff in Canvas and you're trying to bring it into a class that doesn't give you access in the My Files. Most of the time you have access in a course to both My Files and the name of the course, okay? But sometimes you don't have access to My Files, and I'll show you that in a minute. So if I put something in this Canvas and Introduction course, and I am actually in that course going through a lesson, I cannot access content from the Canvas hands-on. Okay, I can only access stuff from within that specific course or from within the My Files. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I would do, for example, is in this Canvas and Introduction, you'll notice that I've uploaded, and all I did to do that was go up here to the top right and click the Upload button. And then that allowed me to search my hard drive, or search another drive, or search a jump drive in order to find the document that I wanted to upload. Once I found that document, I clicked Open, and it brought it into that folder. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So now let's go into a course. So I saved the syllabus specifically within my Canvas and Introduction course. Okay? So now I'm going to click back on my dashboard. And it's thinking. And I'm going to go into Canvas and Introduction. And all we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you how to upload the syllabus into a page in Canvas. Okay? In order to create a page within the system, you go to Pages. Now, Canvas, unlike other things on the web, if something's kind of faded or grayed out, that typically means you don't have access to it. Most of you who have experienced Canvas know that this is no longer true, but those of you that haven't, if it's grayed out, doesn't mean you don't have access to it. It just means there's not content in it there yet. So even though Pages is a faint gray compared to the rest of my menu options here within my course, I can still click on it, and it still functions for me. So now to create a page, I just do +page, and I'm just going to call this my syllabus page, for example. And from here, getting that syllabus file over to this text edit area is really quite simple. So if I come here to my right menu, and I click on Files, I now have access to the files that I've put in this course. you'll notice down here is the syllabus Canvas hands-on file, okay? So if all I have to do is make sure my cursor is somewhere in this window and it's blinking, then I come over here and click on that, and now it shows up, okay? And it almost looks just like the hyperlink here, right? It's blue. But if I save this page, that's what it would look like to a student. I want to point out a couple things. If you bring in an Excel file, Excel files they don't have that preview function in Canvas, at least not all the time. It's very finicky. But if I save this as a PDF, you'll notice next to that line of text, there's actually a small icon with a magnifying glass and a page, and then that square with the arrow pointing upward. That gives me two options if I'm a student viewing this link. If I click on the little square with the upwards arrow, that allows me to download that syllabus to my computer. If I click on the page with the magnifying glass, it allows me to preview it. So converting those sort of things into PDF is very beneficial.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why would you use a page to display your syllabus versus the syllabus area?
You can do it in syllabus too.
Is it this? Because I've been playing with it, I haven't figured out quite exactly what I want. And
basically,
so
when it comes to that distinction, it's kind of up to you, because you can essentially set either as a, you can set it as your home page as a syllabus page, and you can upload your stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have Sarah come up here in a minute, and she has her syllabus and various links actually set up on her syllabus page.
one of the things I noticed, like in creating a module, like I couldn't link to the syllabus if I had it in syllabus.
Okay, so explain that a little further. So let me go to
like
modules.
you have a module, right? You have a module and you want to link something like to week one.
Yeah.
Right, like I have my syllabus in week one, but I couldn't add the, you know how you drop the arrow?
Yeah.
Right, I have a file, so I can link to my PDF that I had uploaded, but when it was in the syllabus area, I couldn't do
Yeah, you couldn't link to it. So if you created it as a page, you should be able to link to it from a content page. That's one distinction.
Okay.
Yeah. Has anybody else found a, yeah, go
I
ahead.
just want to answer from my experience what I did. I am using the syllabus feature. The negative aspect of that is that the word processing editing part, if you have any logos and stuff, it stinks. It looks kind of odd. The thing that I liked, and I don't think this was on last semester, I think it's new, is that automatically, when I put the course policies and everything, I didn't have to input the assignments again. Once I have populated the assignments in the assignments tab, it automatically populated all the assignments with the dates and the rubrics. So this is
Yeah, I
kinda
noticed
cool.
something like that.
So for those of you that may not be following, on the syllabus page, there's people that, like we just input that link on that content page, you can put the link on the syllabus page too. But then you'll see here that it starts to develop this assignment summary. So as soon as you have assignments in the system that you've built, it starts building this whole list of assignments. So that's what they're talking about there. And you'll actually get to see that from the real course. So actually I'm gonna ask Savannah Andrassi to come up. She's one of the new faculty with you. But her and I have worked together on Canvas multiple times now. And she has some pretty cool things that she does with Canvas.
Matthew, when you...
Yes.
So,
Matthew.
sorry, Matt.
I'm kidding.
I think it's because I always see your name pop up as Matthew. Matt.
I actually prefer Lord Matthias.
No, that's not going to happen. Okay, now. So I had done sort of an upload new file when I created an assignment. So I went to edit the assignment and create it, and then I clicked upload a new file, and it uploaded. And then now if I go back to my account and files, I'm not seeing that file that I had done. I'm assuming more like a quick upload, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me see that. You need the visual reference.
I have this is very, very empty. So for example,
Okay, so like they were saying, this is where I list my syllabus stuff, and then as I put everything on here, these are my assignments. Now the only thing that I found, there's pros and cons for this course. Because with a syllabus, you can see not only assignments, but also things to do. So read this. But since that's not an assignment, just the reading is not specifically graded, but like the paper based on the reading or the summary based on the reading, that's what gets graded. So regardless, if I wanted to put, for example, read blah, 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 sometimes I found students get confused. But if I do something where it's like, no, there's an attachment linked to this and that's why it's on the syllabus, then they see like this to have more of a purpose. In my other course that I have, I just kept it where it is specifically just the assignments running it. So if you see, this is much more cleaned up, much more straightforward. Everything has its due date by the time that they come to class. And this is specifically just the assignments that they are being graded on. The other class, I have things also like things they need to do. And so even though it's great for them to see it and great for them to have access to the attachments right here on my home syllabus page, they find that it also can be a tad bit confusing because they're like, oh wait, what do I actually have to turn in? So I have to make sure to put all my assignment names on the syllabus, on the paper copy syllabus page. Make sure that this is something, the practice heading. You're gonna find it there. You click on it and then you turn to it. So that's pretty much it. Questions?
So I know we're limited on time. Can I peek at your Canvas scavenger hunt? Or maybe you can send it to me?
Yeah. Something that I did this time just to relieve the load on my shoulders and also for the students to get to know Canvas on the first day is a scavenger hunt. And I can tell you right now, great success. It worked out really well. They liked it a lot. A lot of them had never heard of Canvas, don't know anything about it. So whenever I gave this to them, they were excited. So it really is kind of basic directions on how to get there. When Canvas opens up, what do you see? Just very straightforward. What's the first assignment? So now they have to actually find stuff. And then some things are tasks. So from the syllabus page, click on the syllabus quiz and take it. And that also saves time for me because now I don't have to do that. And it gets automatically graded. Go to your account and change your profile picture. Now I don't care if they put their face or an icon, but I just wanted to see that they are going in and playing with things. Go to your notifications, change all your preferences to notify me right away. I have them do that because I don't want there to be any excuse on why they didn't get an email, an announcement, a discussion post, whatever. So yeah. And if you do want this, just email me. Yeah. Oh, sure.
That would be great.
Yes.
I'm not so Canvas fluid.
So this will help you too.
It will. How do I know about compliance? Have they done?
Oh yeah, so great question. The things, the tasks, I can actually go in. So I have, or we all have, access to seeing their profiles too. So whenever you go in, you can see there's a thing called people. So people, okay? I can go in and I can see how the profiles, this one did not change their profile picture, but that one's dropped, see? So I can go in and see who has changed their profile picture. I can go in and I can see how many times they've logged on Canvas. I can go in and see what the activity was. I can see whenever they do their syllabus quiz. Yes?
I like to know my students' names. If I had pictures, it would help so much. Is it against FERPA?
So what I do is, and I say that specific thing. I say, go in and change your profile picture. Now, you don't have to put your face, however, it helps me put names to faces. If you want to put an icon, go ahead. I give them the option. But I tell them it does help me put names to faces.
I have a question. Are your classes online or are they face to face?
Face to face.
So you're buying into Canvas for all of your courses regardless, right? You're just face to face.
I find it to be really helpful. In my other class, that was the most straightforward. I made everything paperless.
Okay.
The only thing they have is their textbook.
Okay.
And then everything else, they're turning everything online on Canvas. My grading's all online on Canvas. Everything.
One other question. Inactive, what does that mean?
It means they dropped the course.
So I'm teaching an online course, so I'm kind of I tried to use Canvas last semester and, I was drinking from a fire hose last semester, so that kind of fell by the wayside, but I'm trying to embrace it this semester. And I've noticed like students on my wait list show up as inactive in here. Is that the case, or did they enroll themselves and their mail dropped from the course? I don't necessarily associate that to somebody being dropped. I see them right now on my wait list. Is there any more, like, is inactive, what does that encompass? Anybody feel free to say that?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I was trying my email.
No, I think Matt or maybe Bill might be more.
So,
yeah.
they won't be categorized as active in your class until they're officially in that class. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the waitlist students.
The waitlist students are not enrolled. They're not in Canvas.
I see them though.
They should not. You do.
They're there. Yeah, waitlist students are on the
I
roster.
see my waitlist of students and they show up as inactive. So
That's a new thing, because last semester that wasn't the case. They weren't because the district process takes the actual enrollment data from Banner and puts them in your Canvas class.
So if they move from waitlist to enroll, it'll happen automatically for me, right? They'll just they'll appear, right? Yeah.
When they're enrolled in the class, they'll appear in the class roster.
Okay.
I'm still not confident that process is including waitlisted students. So I don't know, I have to check on that, but.
And I took a note, we can look into what's
Yeah. Like I'm doing that online course and I'm trying to figure out how to manage attendance.
But they're not in there when they're on the wait list.
They are. Right here. I got 2 wait lists. And they were on the wait list yesterday, and then I added them.
Okay, so
they got added.
But when they're still
Canvas obviously has a lot of functionality,
not when they're added to
and
the
we
class,
barely
when they're
touched
still
even the
on the
tip of it today. Right, so one thing that, if you guys, we
they're
will
still on
be
the
doing some
list
more
right now.
Canvas training, but if you don't want to wait for Canvas training, feel free to reach out to myself or Tracy Lovelace, and we can work specifically on something. Like maybe you've had training already, an introductory level training, so you know the bulk of what's there, but you want to get more granular on stuff, right? A little more, step it up a level. Let us know. We'll work with you to help you get to that spot that you want to be, okay?
If you want the Canvas scavenger hunt, there's my email. Just send me an email and I'll attach it and send it right to you.
Are you guys hang out a little bit after?
Actually, Sabrina, can
Yeah,
you send
no,
me
we-
the
Send it.
email to me after it's ready?
Okay, I'll do it that way.
I do have a quick question. How do I import my content for Canvas? For example, when putting the communication department, we share a lot of rubrics. So if I already put it a rubric on Canvas and I want to share with other teachers, how do I?
So that's the one thing. If you want to, so let's say you have and I face this question from time to time. Let's say you have another colleague that has content that you want to bring into your course, right? Well, if you even try to import that content.
Because I've always been able to import my own content. I was able to do that.
So what you can do is from your settings menu in the course, you can go to import content into this course. Okay. Now you can copy any content from any of your other courses yourself. If you want something from another colleague, that's a step that we need to help you with, because what we have to do is export their content from their machine and then give it to give it like on a jump drive or something too, and then import that content into here. So it's a couple more steps. Yeah. And make sure you have approval. I have people that come up and say, I'd like so-and-so, I'd like so-and-so's content. I'm like, do you have their approval?
What is the attendance? I mean, why is it not an option for us?
It will be if you want it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll turn it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a test group last semester that was working with it, but
have to specifically part for our course?
no, I
or
think
you're gonna do for everyone?
we're safe now that we can just turn it on for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people kept talking about it, I never seen it. Just don't project your attendance screen while you're in class and do attendance
Right.
with it being shown to all students, because that's a FERPA violation.
I usually bring my laptop, and I would like to not have to bring anything else other than my laptop to class.
Or not have to open an Excel spreadsheet with our
Okay. We went very quickly today. Did you notice that, or is it just me? So the purpose of this session in particular, are you just really excited? Or
No, I was supposed to turn it in now.
Oh, you do turn it?
Yeah, I'm scheduled. Can you turn the computer back on?
Yeah.
I'll be quick. I don't need 15 minutes.
Yeah, as Laura's getting set up to talk about Turnitin.com, I didn't want to contextualize, and should have done this at the very beginning, that the pace of the session is so fast that its intent isn't really to go in depth, but rather to skim the surface. So that if there's a program or a software that you're interested in, at least you know where to go to get more information. Because some of the stuff you might have encountered today, you might say, you know, it's not really for me. Or you might say, boy, that was really helpful for me or helpful for my students. Basic information, let me go explore, talk to someone, read the handout, whatever the case may be. So Gloria, let me know whenever you're ready to go, otherwise I'll keep talking.
Okay, I just need a second.
Perfect. I did want to thank Manny Del Santos for video recording this session. We will send it out to everyone with captioning. And I wanted to thank Jacqueline for also interpreting today. Really, really appreciate it. There are handouts in the back if you didn't have a chance to get handouts. Please sign in on your way out. And also there's a sign-up sheet for Bridge in addition to what Chanel showed you earlier today. So Gloria's going to talk about Turnitin.com. I will briefly, after that, introduce you to a great software that I personally love called CCC Confer, or Confer Now. They changed the name of it. But Gloria, will people care?
How many of you have used Turnitin? Okay, some of you.
Pardon? As a student.
Yes, a student, yeah, okay. Well, the reason I don't have to take a lot of time is I'm going to give you a verbal overview and show you where to go for other stuff. I put these on my page yesterday. Turnitin's inside, you can just log in, go directly there. The music Turnitin is something I made several years ago for my students. I'll quickly show you that. A couple of things so you have an idea how it works. Well, let me say something else. I don't like Turnitin just as a gotcha tool. I was asked if I was going to show how to do this in Canvas. I sent out the links that Matt Jones provided me last week about how to integrate Canvas and Turnitin. I spent about 15 minutes after I sent it out going, what the hell? I did not find it easy to figure out, and I didn't really care, because I didn't really feel I needed it or even wanted it, and I'll tell you why. Because in Canvas, apparently, I'm looking at the instructions, when a student uploads an assignment to you, they're uploading it, the assignment to you, and they're uploading it into Turnitin simultaneously. I want them to use Turnitin before I see anything. And it is so easy to just click on Turnitin and log in. On that Turnitin for instructors, I have a step-by-step, how to, if you don't have an account, email me and I'll set one up for you. It'll tell you when you get the thing from Turnitin that I'm paid Luna, but that's just in proxy. It's very, very easy to add a class in Turnitin, and instead of guiding you to Turnitin's tutorials, I like visuals, I like screenshots, I have step-by-step. This is this screen, this is what it looks like, this is what you do. So I've made it very, very easy. Using Turnitin is something I have for my students because I want them to see what an originality report looks like. Turnitin calls them originality reports, not plagiarism reports. And there's a reason. Basically, Turnitin's database has every paper ever uploaded to Turnitin. So it's got lots of texts and things that people have quoted and used. Lots of papers that students spot on the net and tried to use a second or third or fourth time. It also has a lot of text directly. It's always trying to gather text. It's not going to have everything. You're going to read a paper and you're going to know the student plagiarized it because the language level is so far beyond what that student is ordinarily capable of. And then your options are doing a Google search. I can often come up with the articles easily that way. And they'll certainly be turned in after the student's uploaded. Or, you know, I'll sit down with the student and we'll go over why I believe the paper was plagiarized. And I usually say, if you make me spend any more hours trying to track this down, I'm not going to give you a chance to fix it. And I've always had them full right there. You know, so you have a chance of maybe getting away with this, or getting a 0 and being stuck with a 0, or I'll just start over. I remember one guy saying, I couldn't find anything on the net, I couldn't find anything to turn it in, so I'm looking at his academic transcript, and I see that he was currently in Introduction to Psychology, and it pretty much sounded like an Introduction to Psychology textbook, and I said, if you make me go to a teacher and borrow that book and find what you, okay, never mind. So, Turnitin isn't perfect, but it's helpful. But as I said, I just decided after, I spent, like I said, 15 minutes in Canvas, and as soon as I realized that simultaneous submission was an issue. And then I did get an email from somebody who followed the links and said, yeah, those links were really helpful. And I called somebody at Canvas, and after 40 minutes of walking me through, they got it set up. I'm not willing to put that time in. When you go to turn it in and add a class, you're clicking a couple of buttons, that's it. It gives you a class ID number. You name your class, you tell your students what that ID number is, you come up with a password. I always come up with something like really clever, like English 1A for the password. It's not like I'm worried about people breaking in and uploading stuff, right? It's very, very simple. So I personally don't feel I need the Canvas interface. Okay, so I want students to look at their own originality reports. I require them to turn them in at least 48 hours in advance. Now, of course, I could just say, I'm not going to start looking at papers until a certain day and time and deal with the Canvas issue that way. But some of my online students, the ones who are great time managers, they get their papers several days early. I want to start grading them. So if it's submitted to me directly in the slot for submitting the paper, then I'm going to assume they want me to read it and grade it then. So I just like that. It's just easy. Okay, so this is what I've made for students, and I'll be very quick. I'll basically let you just go to my home page, just Google Glory Dummer, it's quicker than going through faculty record. And this is what I did with students. Basically, and you can use this link if you like. It shows students, it gives them a link to turn it in, and it walks them through opening the account, which is super simple. Creating a student account, all of that, so they've got screenshots of every step. And then once they're enrolled and turn it in, I start showing screenshots of actual originality reports without the student's name being there. You'll notice things like that 16% up there. You'll notice highlighted areas. You'll notice that. Look at it more slowly. See this highlighted text? Basically, that is stuff that Turnitin said, yeah, I found this somewhere. It highlights them in different colors, and to the right margin, it's going to show where it came from. Often it's a student paper. And the nice thing about Turnitin is that you can have the students upload the paper over their earlier visions as often as they need. Because otherwise, it would come out as almost totally unoriginal because they'd be using their own paper. So I always set that date kind of even farther into the future than needed because I let them revise these things. So I'll say Turnitin's due date does not reflect the original due date for this essay or this paper because you know you're going to be revising it after I grade it. So I just set it in the future. They can just keep uploading it and they're required to upload that final version before I grade that final revision. But they can look at this and this explains how any highlighted area is something that's been found someplace. And I point out that it's not a plagiarism percentage. 16% doesn't mean plagiarized. I'll give examples of, well, if there are no quotation marks around that, that's plagiarized. So I say, look at this. Maybe you didn't mean to plagiarize it because often they'll actually have in-text citations. I'll just remind them that copied phrases and sentences need quotation marks around. So sometimes there is a certain amount of honest confusion in that. They're citing it so they know I'm going to look at it because I make them turn in the articles they use, just upload those. But as I said, I'm going to basically quit talking, let you look at this on your own, let you email me questions. As I said, use a link to this if you think it'll be useful, because again, it's screenshots and kind of walks the student step by step by step through looking at their own originality report. You can click the instructor thing if you want an overview of how quick and easy it is to set up a class, and it also shows how to add an assignment and turn it in. And do you have any questions for me?
See, I told you I'd be quick. Okay.
And I want to thank all the presenters today as well for their investment. They didn't have to be here, but they were so enthusiastic about it. And I love the idea of peer learning, peer-to-peer learning. So it's a great model for us. I hope that today was a great investment of your time, that you learned something new, and that you're able to take something that we talked about today and apply it to your classroom. There's one more piece of technology that I wanted to share with you that I found, even in a non-classroom environment. Many of you know of the requirement for office hours. It's even a new requirement for our adjuncts. Office hours ideally should take place in a face-to-face format, but if you're teaching online classes, that may or may not be helpful to your online students. I found a software called CCC Confer. Actually, it changed it to Confer now. And I will pass out a handout that will give you more information on it. I'm not going to go into the details about how it works or how to set it up because it's all going to be in here. But there are so many uses for it that I couldn't help but share it. One of the uses is for office hours. If you want to do a video conference with a student, you can use Confer Now to do that. Again, all the details on how to do it are going to be in the packet that I'm circulating. If you wanted to do a video lecture, you can use Confer Now. The other thing that Confer Now does is it allows you to lecture, to video record yourself using your computer's camera and microphone, but also to do screen share. So we'll capture your screen. So as you're speaking, your students can also watch what you're doing on the screen. The cool thing about it is that it allows you to record yourself as you're doing it. Very similar to what Misty showed you this morning with, I can't remember the name of her software, Shomi. Hers is called Shomi. Confer Now is the same kind of platform. It is free for you as a community college employee, which is great. So I would encourage you to avail yourself of that. I want to show you a quick demo. After you record yourself, by the way, you can upload it to YouTube. It allows you to email yourself a link. You ran out? Ooh.
Right here.
We will get some more of those to your hand. I will email as many of these items as possible. Thank you for letting me know. You can save it to YouTube or you can circulate it through other social media means. The great thing about YouTube is that it allows you to use the caption feature as well. Okay, so you don't have to self-caption, it will do it for you. So, quick story and example. There was an opportunity for us to present at a conference. You might see this is the email that I sent out to several presenters. And it was a very complicated process. I went through it and I realized, boy, other people could really benefit from it. So I used Confer Now to share some of my tips and strategies and suggestions. And I just embedded a link to it right here. So you'll see, this is just in...
Good morning, everyone. I wanted to send you this quick video
So I'm going to turn down
to
the
those.
volume here. Let's do that. Here's the caption feature, by the way. And so it was just a brief introduction.
Who are considering submitting a proposal for the Achieving the Dream Conference in February.
And then from there, I just share my screen.
This
is my desktop right over here.
This
It allows you
site right here. You have the
to
option
allow your video record itself to be there in the little picture or not. So you have the option of that as well. But I was just screen sharing as I was recording myself. And then after that, it uploaded. I sent it as a link. And it was just as easy as that. There are some fairly complicated instructions on the Confer Now website. I'll give you a tip though. I just went to YouTube and I just typed in Confer Now tutorial And in less than 30 minutes, I felt like I was an expert on it. So I understood how to do the record feature, just the interface feature, you know, just doing a screen-to-screen chat. As a matter of fact, this morning before I came in, I was on a video conference with some colleagues in Maryland, and they were showing me how to do some things just using their screen share aspect of it. So there are so many applications of it. The last thing that I'll share is that there's an app that goes along with this. It's just Zoom. If you type Zoom in your app store, it will download that application. So it's almost a combination of FaceTime with a screen share and video recording. Very, very useful. So just couldn't help but not share that. Couldn't help but I could. Gloria, what should I be saying? Where's our English faculty? Anyway,
Yeah.
I wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, it's
So-
positive, not double negative.
Double negative. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Any questions about Confer Now?
I'm
No?
sorry, I have a question.
You're gonna correct me.
So what you showed us came from CC Confirm?
Yes.
So you were able to do all that screen share, capture your video, and are you playing it via YouTube or you're playing it via like CC Confer or something?
So, Confer Now is the website. If you go to confernow.org, confernow.org gives you the opportunity to, again, as a state employee, to create your free account. Once you have that account, it becomes a portal into accessing all of the Zoom features. Okay, so whether it's called Confer Now or Confer Zoom or Zoom Now, I'm not quite sure exactly, but it changes on a monthly basis. But regardless, Zoom is a software that allows you to do the screen sharing, the recording, and the video capturing all in one. So I logged in. I launched. This is going to sound kind of crazy, but I launched a meeting. The only invitee to that meeting was myself. So while I was doing this, there wasn't anyone else who was invited to this meeting. When I started the meeting, I just hit the record button, and I was just talking right into the camera. It gives you the opportunity, there's a button in Confer Now that also allows you to invite more attendees, to uninvite attendees, to launch your video, to mute your microphone, and all these different combinations, but one of them is screen share. So in what you're seeing right here, I actually hit the screen share button so that people can see what I'm seeing on the screen, and they can see the video recording of myself.
If I wanted a webcam, should I go through my department to purchase it, or does the school have these resources for me?
I'm not sure about that. I think the easiest solution would be a laptop if you have one with a built-in camera. Good question. But it was super easy for me to use. Would encourage you to do it as well. And even if you don't want to use this for tutoring or for lecturing, and you just happen to have an online student who lives really far away, you just want to connect with them, you can send them a Confer Now link. And again, all the details are in the packet, or you can learn about it through YouTube. But when you schedule a meeting, let's just say you send them a meeting for, I'll give you a quick example here. This was my calendar from this morning. And this is the invitation that I received from our folks here in Maryland. All I did was I went to this link, this URL that they sent me. So they established the meeting. All I had to do, and it was calendared for me as well, I just had to go follow the link. And then it put me into a holding pattern until the meeting host joined the meeting, at which point in time we could see each other and see each other's screens as well. The great thing about it too is that you can have a limited number of participants here. You can have your whole class meeting with each other at the same time.
Are there any time constraints on the length of your meeting?
Nope. And it's $0 out-of-pocket dollars for you. It's great. So I'll go ahead and send out that packet.
Are there editing tools?
Yes. Okay, so if you have the opportunity to simply record yourself, or even a group meeting. So for example, this meeting right over here that I was in, she recorded it because there were some attendees who couldn't get it, so I asked her to record it, and she did. After she records it, she has the ability to download it as an MP3 or MP4, and then through just about any software that has editing capabilities, you can snip, cut, edit, condense. You can add, intro features and things like that, almost like you would for any video production. Yeah, good question. Great. Well, our next time together is in February 20th, I want to say. Because there's a holiday in February. On the
17th.
And
whatever Friday is a holiday, don't be here on that day. That's okay. However, the following Friday is when we are meeting.
Do you know the time yet?
Same time, 9 to noon is every session. This time we are back in the, where are we typically? 11. Yeah. But it's all on your Outlook, and we'll send you reminders when we get there. We're always a phone call away for a CCC